yeah. A little stank on it. When you hear that bass line, you know it's Feature Bees. You know it's Feature Bees podcast episode 104. I haven't heard anyone use this yet from the Epidemic Sound catalog. Sometimes I'll use one of these songs and then Joe is Hungry will fucking put it on his food testing shit and I'll be like, well, I gotta take that out of the rotation because Joe's got it now.
You could imagine a plate spinning like a really slickly edited.
He's cutting an Arby's like roast beef and cheddar in half with a machete on.
It's like, look at this knife. I'm gonna carve up my family with this someday.
Yeah, well, hey, that was the voice of our illustrious guest this week. I am one of your hosts, John Warren. With me is my forever co-host, Lotus. Hello, Lotus. Hello. And we are just so honored to be joined this week by the one and only Jeff Gerstmann. Hi, Jeff.
Hi. I'm good. It's good to be here. It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. It's been a year. It's been a year, and you can of course go to jeff.zone to join Jeff's Patreon, which he has a lovely podcast. Which, by the way, I and you can also go to vgbs.com/join. I made a promise to myself I would be better about saying that at the beginning of the episode. You know, when people are actually listening, instead of 35 minutes in when you see them all drop off, and I go, "Oh fuck!" By the way.
I mess that up all the time. I don't mention it until like it's the end of a 3-hour show, and I'm like, "Hey, this is Patreon."
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
you should look at
it.
Have you ever considered this thing?
Yeah. You got to the end of this 3-hour thing.
Yeah. At this point,
Jeff, let me ask you a quick question because you know I host a show with one or two other people every single week, and you talk to yourself for 3 hours.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I try to do that sometimes, and 10 minutes in, I go, actually, I'd rather put my head in the oven than continue to listen to myself. I just put Joe on. I can't do it.
Yeah, well, you know, being out in a garage now, there's no oven nearby for me to do that, so you just kind of have to plow through it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I always. Podcasting for me has always been that like drive time radio or more, you know, some like
sure.
And so there's that long history of just weird people alone talking into microphones for hours at a time that I feel like I'm kind of drawing from. And you know, like it's because I do throw it out live. There is at least a chat.
Yeah,
that I can kind of like look at and pull from if
helps.
Absolutely necessary. But the thing the two things have happened to me that have like broken my brain over the last like I don't know 15 years or whatever of doing a long podcast is I will get invited on shows that are an hour long and it'll feel like it didn't even happen.
Right.
That's the warm up. That is I don't
it's
understand
like,
such a
it's like okay, let's start talking now. Oh right, okay, no, this is all right. Yeah, great. And also like I will go in because you know I put together like any podcast I have a document of like here's the stuff I'm going to talk about, usually with just links, no notes or whatever, but I will look at a show before I start and go, oh man, I don't know how this is going to fill any kind of time. I never really try to like I don't never try to stretch it out or anything like that. But the weird thing that happens is even if I'm like an hour 45 in and I go like, I'm just about out of stuff, I feel like I will blink and it'll be like, oh God, I got to go. My wife's got to go pick up our daughter from school.
Yeah.
I have to turn this off now. It's been 3 hours and 10 minutes. Like, no, I can't do this. I don't know. There's like a fugue state involved or something. Like, I don't know. Like, and as soon as I think this is another thing that anyone who's been podcasting for a significant length of time has this happen as well. But as soon as it stops, I couldn't tell you a damn thing that happened on that show.
Fucking thing.
Exactly. They'd be like, oh, you know, you should make more clips of your show for social. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, what am I going to go back and go? I don't even know. Was any of that good? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't remember it. And I also don't think anything I said was funny. So what am I going to do now?
No, it's weird because if we go 2.5 hours, whatever it is, the only chance I have to go, all right, I'm going to make some quality fucking content of this, is to go right now, go back through and go, okay, it's at least a little bit fresh that I could do this. But then, no, not even then can I do that, really. Because I've just spent 3 hours doing the fucking thing, and I gotta go.
I set up a button on my Stream Deck with this in mind, because there's one of the commands is just like put a marker in the stream.
Yeah.
Smart.
That you could be like, something happened.
Sure. Right.
And the week I put it in, I pushed it once, and I have never pushed it again.
No, that's great to know, because it's great to know that you have not stuck with that, because I've been sitting here with this disconnected in front of me.
Turn around to the back.
Look at the dust on this thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Look at the dust on it. This has been sitting in front of me disconnected for 18 months.
Yep.
And I just am like, I got this, and it's going to change my life. And then I'm glad to know that it won't, even when I get it hooked up.
I bought the touch screen that they made.
Oh, yeah.
So I have 2 Stream Decks hooked up. One has knobs on it, and nothing works with the knobs except for my lights. I can turn my lights up and down. Yay!
Yay!
And that's fun for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
For when my kids are out here, I bought the touch screen thing that they made, thinking like, I'm gonna have a command center, and I'm gonna have, what am I gonna put on it? Important things that I need. And then I look at the widgets they have available, and it's like, do you want to know how hot your GPU is? And no, I fucking don't. Like, who gives a shit?
That's none of my business.
No, I don't care, as long as it's not too hot. And I'd set up other stuff to try to make sure that's not a problem, but I don't need a touch screen. And so, like, I put a photo thing on it for a while, and it's like, well, that's Dave Lang's face, and that's nice to see every 20 minutes when the thing cycles through. Yeah. But I ended up disconnecting it, and it's just sitting on a shelf behind me. It was like one of the dumbest things. But I didn't learn anything, because I am going to cave. They put out a new Stream Deck that is bigger and has knobs, and I could take the 2 that I have now and throw those somewhere and just have one.
Right.
With half the buttons empty, because I don't know what I'm going to intend to even do with it. And yeah, I don't know. It's if I was doing audio routing through it, like there's use cases for certain people that bought every other thing that they make or whatever, and do things a very certain way, where you go like, oh, actually, I could turn my mic up and down with that, but I have a separate, actually useful set of hardware sliders, like an audio mixer for that stuff. And I don't know. It's all.
No, you say people who have bought every product. I don't think that anyone who's bought every Elgato product is using even half the buttons.
I bet.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I mean,
or if they are, they're like, Bitcoin. Well, I need to push this and see what Bitcoin is at. Like, they're using all the dumbest possible things.
I would just want 20 sound effects.
Yep.
On lock.
Yeah. Yep. Just fart. And
I
then,
have I have a whole separate thing over here that has 64 sound effects.
That's
great.
I needed
That's
because the sound effect stuff on the Stream Deck the latency is way too high. Like, if you really want to mash an air horn, the Stream Deck is not fast enough. So I bought something that is like USB MIDI, and so it's like super low latency. Like, it's a sampler, and that's overkill for a zillion different reasons. But
I would just have 64 buttons that played Sucking on a Chili Dog outside the Tasty Freeze. I think that's probably just that would hit all 64 just kind of in succession.
Just start mashing your hand across it.
A lot of John Cougar in my ears at all times. I guess we could talk about video games. Some shit happened this week. Let's talk about them. Witcher 3, that brand new game everyone's talking about on the absolute tip of everyone's tongue. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's still playing. Game of the Year circuit. Jeff,
best ongoing game of the
best ongoing game. Sifu, best fighting game. Best ongoing game. Witcher 3.
Dethroning Valorant and CS2 for best ongoing game is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Wild Hunt, which is getting a new DLC next year, in the year of our Lord 2027, which is fascinating to me. And it's called Songs of the Past. Yes, that'll be 12 years since the release of The Witcher 3 and 11 since its last DLC, Blood and Wine. Listen, The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games. Maybe ever. Definitely in the past, decade and a half. But this was a bit surprising to me, just in terms of a full DLC. CD Projekt is also going to be working on this with one of their satellite studios, so it's not fully them. But it's a full-sized DLC. It's an expansion like Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. There's a new sword. It's going to take place over, it has to do with this Belleton night theme, spring solstice vibes. bullshit.
You had
And
me
we
at
don't-
new sword.
There is a new sword. It's
But only
also-
one? Because he carries two, right?
He carries two. That's the whole thing. So I'm
wait,
actually
is this now a third sword? Does he have
That's-
3 swords?
That's what I'm actually like. That was the first question, because all the fucking concept art is just like, he's got a new sword, and everyone's like, oh, new sword, and I can't stop thinking about whether we're moving to one sword to get us ready for Siri, who I
Right.
think may only use one sword, or is it just kind of like, well, now he's got 3 swords, so good luck.
Maybe Siri's story will be like, you need to earn the second sword.
Maybe.
No,
No,
2/3
no
the way through the
additional-
game, you finally master having a second sword.
Having a second
And
sword.
then the rest is crazy.
Yeah, goes apeshit after that point. I don't know. Sure, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? It makes sense for these sort of transmedia aspirations of, it's been this long since we did The Witcher 4. We probably
Yeah.
should do kind of a bridging thing.
Yeah.
But the idea of it is still insane. The Witcher 3 isn't ugly looking, but every time I see it, I go, ooh, yeah, it's been
12
a
years.
while. It's
Yeah.
been a minute.
It's been a minute.
So I'm curious as to how it's going to look more than
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah. And this is the team that did they're doing the Witcher 1 remake stuff, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
which they've been very quiet about for the past couple years. So
Yeah.
they are doing the Witcher 3 remake, but no real info about that for a little while. So Songs of the Past might be the first thing that gets to us from this team and this kind of big thing. So those 2 DLCs were awesome. Like, I really liked Blood and Wine. It's a really great epilogue to the story. This will probably bridge the gap, I would assume, between this and the next game, but I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if this says anything about how far off that game might be. If they're
Right,
like,
'cause we don't
hey,
know.
we got some time. Why don't we shove a thing in here in between these?
Yeah, my extremely kind of like disconnected friends who saw the Witcher 4 stuff and just kind of assumed, my normie friends at work assume when they see a trailer for something, it's like, oh, okay, it's like, this isn't that far off. And they're like, oh, so wait, but won't Witcher 4 be out before this? And I was like, oh no, my sweet summer child, no.
We don't do that anymore, I'm
That
afraid.
means this is
Yeah.
going to be many years away, I think. Whether that's 2028 or beyond, like I just have no idea. But
I mean, it'll be Unreal Engine 6 by the time they're done. That and Rocket League.
that and Rocket
And nothing
League.
else.
And
And
yes.
nothing else.
Unreal 6 is crazy. We didn't put it in here because
We didn't. We
can't be
let's
bothered in
detour
some
for
ways.
a second. Let's detour for a second because I agree
The
with you.
documentation for Unreal Engine 5 isn't even done.
It's
It's not even halfway done. It
Yeah.
doesn't work.
It's not done. And they fired a bunch of fucking people. And it's like, okay, no. We got to do 6. And
Is
our
this
best
just,
showcase for
like-
6 is the Cars game.
It's
The
just
car
got to be them
soccer.
rebranding 5 to get away from the bad vibes everyone has about 5's
Certainly.
early performance. Like it has to. This can't be as big of a leap as other Unreal Engines have been, like generationally or whatever. It's got to just be like, yeah, we're instead of 5.5 or whatever, we're just going to call this one 6 because just God, maybe we'll move on.
Who will just escape the gravity that we've created with Unreal
People will
Engine 5.
forget whatever dumb thing Tim Sweeney said online if we just call this Unreal Engine 6.
It's a real Tencent creating level infinite kind of thing of like, okay, like when you see level infinite, don't think about Tencent.
Just don't think about this.
Just don't
Yeah.
think about them. It's fine. It is very funny to me that Rocket League, which by the way, has kind of been in a kind of a weird amount of turmoil with its player base about a bunch of other shit that's been happening. Interesting that would be the centerpiece of Unreal Engine 6 at the same time that that Epic is also using extremely shitty, bad AI art to advertise Fortnite stuff. I don't know. I just love it when big companies step on rakes. It doesn't really matter, I guess, but it's just fucking funny to me.
The thing I always think about with this stuff is, the thing that makes a lot of esports games work is that they run on anything. And that game right now runs on Unreal Engine 3. And it runs on
Really
anything.
well.
Anything.
It runs on anything.
Toasters.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
minute they go like, now you can see every single blade of grass and look at how shiny this car is.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're like really going to fuck this up, aren't you? Like
Yeah.
this is... gonna be the end of Rocket League if they don't find a way to make this scale.
It's deeply out of touch because also, can't stress this enough. The cars in Rocket League are toys. They're toy cars. It doesn't matter if they look like the brand new Mazda GX whatever. They're toys.
Yeah, they're supposed to look like Matchbox cars that you're just ramming into each other, and now it's wheels around her, and that's
all anyone could ever want. Yeah.
One of those games that you will not be playing, even after 12 years of development, is Hiroshi Yuichi's shmup Ubusuna. He made Ikaruga, by the way, but now he's left M2, which was making this game. It was announced over 10 years ago. No news for about 4 years, and now it's been canceled. He resigned. No other details. So, this shmup is gone. And
I feel like for
I need a shmup.
For a game of this type to have taken this long and to have gone this dark for the last 4 years, you wonder what was even there to begin with. Like, because he was working on other projects. It wasn't like he's just been locked away in a room,
right?
Going, there's got to be a third color. I don't know, something. So I wonder if this is just like, hey, we have this idea, but then we got distracted with all this other work because M2 can be busy at times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it says that he was the director of Night Striker gear, which I didn't realize until I just saw this.
Yeah, that's a bizarre note I wanted to leave because he directed a whole shmup under M2 and released it, and Ikaruga is, especially amongst like normies or whatever who aren't big shmup heads, probably the most famous shmup that there is right now. Why wouldn't you say that out loud? Why wouldn't you make that the lead of all the advertisement? If you go to the Steam store page, his name isn't even on it.
Right.
It's very strange.
Crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about Night Striker gear is that they were marketing it as like Night Striker is back, which like I am like, oh, cool, that's neat. But I feel like outside of like 11 people out there, no one knows what Night Striker is, and people still don't, even though that thing came out. So it was just like a really weird. Like, it seemed like they could have used all the help they could have gotten to just like raise any awareness that thing even existed.
Very strange.
Allegedly, he'll say more later, but we'll find out.
Yuichi says that he may continue to work on Ubusuna independently. He says, I don't think it'll turn out to be such a disappointment after all. So who knows if that just means it'll turn into something else or whatever, but it's an interesting
fascinating shadows on these cave walls.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what that could possibly mean, but I don't know. It's always really vexing when I read about games that have been kind of in some sort of development hell for this long, just finally get pulled. But I don't know. Hopefully it's not the end of him making cool shmups, but it won't be with him too, because he has resigned. This is part of the show where I am obligated to tell you. You can go to nogamesforgenocide.com and look at the BDS boycott stuff, because we are, of course, talking about Microsoft, because I absolutely love the fact that they are now going to have to pay $250 million to settle a Swedish pension fund class action lawsuit. The Swedish pension fund has accused Activision Blizzard King of rushing the deal to avoid consequences of repeat sexual harassment scandals under Bobby Kotick, by the way. And they accuse Bobby of netting shareholders a lower stock price than they would have gotten with a more extensive negotiation. This is, by the way, the same lawsuit that Kotick was alleged was Embracer secretly trying to boost its own sales for games competing against 80Ks. I do remember this. Yeah. I just love that Embracer and Microsoft are locked in this kind of like, God, how bad can we just fuck this up for the next 10 years for everybody? Just like, no, I'm gonna stake my entire fucking future on the Saudi deal that's not gonna happen. No, I'm gonna fuck with the Swedish pension fund so bad that we have to do this huge settlement. It's awesome. But AP7 and Embracer are both Swedish, by the way. That's the pension fund. They share some former and current employees. Settlement was reached in part because the California Civil Rights Department has given up on sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuit it's pursuing against Activision Blizzard King, writing for the settlement that its claims were unsubstantiated. Boy, the hits just keep coming.
Yeah. This one is I like that, as a part of this, Microsoft had to issue like the statement saying like, we're not saying that any of this stuff, like, yes, we're settling, but also this doesn't mean that we think that Bobby Kotick is a bad guy. Please don't write that we said that Bobby Kotick was a bad guy. We don't know anything about that. Who even is that? I don't even know. He's the Moneyball guy?
The Moneyball guy?
He seems like he's probably an okay guy then. I don't know. We don't really know. We didn't buy it. We bought this company from Pitfall Harry, the guy that founded it. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of wriggling in here to make sure that no one is throwing anyone else under the bus. And that is one of my favorite corporate song and dances to watch, is everyone desperately trying to not say anything mean or bad. And yeah, I wonder what, you have to wonder about the Activision stuff, about this acquisition in general. Like, if they had it all back, do you think they would do it again? Because I remember at the time, it was very much like, hey, Activision's on fire. Bobby Kotick is being accused of some really heinous shit, and now all of a sudden they're like, we're selling the company to solve this problem. Like, that felt like it was a very linked thing. Like, hey, this management is a problem, and Microsoft is like, we're gonna come in and fix it because we don't have any problem. And yeah.
I mean, it was still happening when I felt like Phil Spencer had still a little bit of shine on him, like in terms of just being able to do things. Like, I think that fell off like pretty quickly after that. And he was also in the midst of like making a lot of promises that felt like really on its face too good to be true about like their future.
Yeah.
But because all that stuff was happening at once, there was an argument to be made for like, okay, well, this is kind of a cool thing to pull everyone out of that fire and try to make something out of it. But of course, like hindsight 2020, like your most cynical version kind of looked at all of that and goes, okay, well, you're throwing a blanket on, you're throwing a mesh blanket on a fire, and actually none of this is going to matter, and this is going to be a problem. You're just delaying the inevitable, and it does feel like that is kind of what's happening in a slow motion car wreck, and this is definitely just part of it.
Definitely. Yeah. And they
games.
Yeah, they bought Call of Duty as Call of Duty was falling off.
Right.
Yep. And we'll see if if they can pull it out of the fire yet again. They've turned to Infinity War. Are
you excited about Modern Warfare 4?
I will hear them out.
Yeah.
I think that this is, like, they've been, before they announced the game, they did this little run. There was like a weird little IGN story that wasn't quite an interview, but it had some quotes from the new studio heads of Infinity Ward, but did not mention the game at all. It was just like, yeah, we're here now, and we're running the studio, and it's just great. We're going great. And it was like, oh, okay, this is the run up to try to say, hey, we're going to try to take this back again. The same way that Infinity Ward had to in like 2019 when the first Modern Warfare reboot came along.
Yeah.
And there was earlier in the year, they put out the statement saying like, hey, we're not going to do back-to-back Black Ops or Modern Warfares ever again because it doesn't work.
Yep.
And it was like this sort of tacit admission of just like, we realize this game is this year's game is kind of fucked.
Yeah.
And last year's game was way better.
Yeah.
But
Black Ops 6 was the first time that I jumped back on and actually had a really good time with it for about 90 days. I was like, this got its hooks in me a lot longer than they'd gotten it in before. But it's, it's like, we've been talking about the annualized stuff for years. It was for a little while Assassin's Creed, but now that's kind of changed. But Madden and NBA and all these things kind of fit into this thing. And if you're not a fucking basketball head or football head, there's this kind of thing with Call of Duty specifically where it all runs together to me in a way that feels just genuinely comical, in the sense of like I could not even get past the first like easy baby round of what are the differences between these Call of Duty games. Like, if we just show you what they are, I wouldn't be able to tell you. And I don't know what they could do to get me back, except for make all my friends I had when I was 25 like start to play video games again. And it's like, good luck. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the having a game set in Korea, like specifically North
cool.
Korea invading South Korea, like, not something that
Different.
a ton of other games have touched on, and
Yeah.
or just fiction in general, really. I mean, we don't hear a ton about that. Also, they have had a mode called DMZ for a while, and now they actually have a real DMZ
Now they
to
have
set it
the
in.
DMZ.
DMZ.
That's the part that's fascinating, because it's like, yeah, where does Call of Duty go at this point from being a decade ago the biggest game on the planet? And it's like, well, Korean people are really good at Overwatch. So maybe going north and south as that region gets increasingly militarized, that's where you're gonna find your audience. I don't know.
Is that something?
Is that?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
They're just turning the
I'm at the
drill
show.
dial.
Yeah.
Is this
right.
anything? Is this anything, you guys?
Right. Could this be it? And also, kind of a weird footnote of that entire story is that Warzone is going to be basically they're going to stop development for that on last generation consoles, PS4 and Xbox One. I don't know why. I don't. Someone was asking me about Xbox One the other day. That they found like one at Goodwill or something for $40. Xbox One, in a different way from PlayStation 4, feels 20 years ago to me. I don't know why.
Oh yes. Are you kidding me?
It was such a fucking non-event to me in my life, in a way that like none of the other Xbox consoles have ever been, and I can't really put my finger on it. But I was just like, I couldn't tell you one memory I have of the Xbox One.
It feels like the 360 Pro, where I'm like, yeah, it's the one that kind of came after it, but I have no memories of it either.
I did have that fancy black Xbox 360. That was fun.
Yeah. I remember the launch of Xbox One. I remember like here's a pile of games, and they're not like the exclusive stuff is not great. Like Twisted Pixel had that Loco Cycle game that was not great. A great Twisted, like for Twisted Pixel especially. They had been on such a fun run for so many years, but that didn't do it. And there was the zoo. They had a zoo game. They had some kind of game.
They had a zoo game,
and so you could talk to it through the Kinect.
Yes, I bought that. The only memory I have of Xbox One is that my wife and I had only been dating for about 6 months, and on my birthday she bought me the Xbox One. That's the only reason I remember that. And she bought the zoo game, and we talked to the zoo with the Kinect. That's it. So I have a very like emotionally charged memory to that, but then it's like after that moment, couldn't fucking tell you anything about it. I don't know why. It's just like a black hole.
Wasn't a lot going on for it. I think the Xbox One's greatest contribution to culture might be Paranormal Activity 3, because they use the Kinect in it to look at ghosts.
Sure. Yeah. And that was I forgot about that. Holy shit.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's about it. One more thing. By the way, Fable. One Matthew Booty went on the official Xbox podcast to say, Fable's doing great, but we're going to move it from fall to February because we're going to get out of the way of GTA 6. I don't think he name dropped GTA 6 specifically, but that's what they said. How convenient, right? What a convenient excuse for someone to get out of the way.
I think the thing they posted to social media was like, they mentioned like 7 games, like most of them were first party. Sure. And it was like, because we got Gears and we got all this other stuff, but also Control is coming out and GTA 6 and but we've got all this great stuff, so we're gonna move it. I mean, at some point you've spent enough money on this project, you might as well give it the best chance it has for success if you really think it's going to get eaten alive in the marketplace. Yeah. Again, and the only window you have on first party is probably right there in that GTA pocket. I guess probably not the great. I don't know. I always never really put too much stock in the whole like we can't ship because there's a big game coming out because it just
I
brings
don't get it to me.
it
Especially
brings
if
so much
you're the
attention to
big game.
games that buy the game, buy the other game too.
Yeah, I get like some aspects of the fucking mental shelf space argument, like sometimes, but not on a long enough tail, I guess. And I just feel like it seems odd to me that we do this. I don't know, every year. Something's always got to get out of something else's way. I think maybe my bigger question for Fable is this franchise like big enough to carry this kind of thing? Because I don't really know that it is. Like, I think like for us in the industry who like met Peter Molyneux and like think he's a riot and like it's just like it's a goofy legacy of these games that do have interesting ideas and did try some stuff that I think is really fascinating, but never really entered the zeitgeist. I really don't think they entered like the broad zeitgeist of games, but we're really putting a lot of money and effort into like, oh well, this is it this time, and I'm kind of like, is it though? I don't know.
I don't think they intended to put that much money and effort into it. It's just that it's taken a long time. Like
Time.
I heard at one point that they were making a Fable game that did not have humor. That was not that at one point they were like, should it even be funny? Is that a key thing? And like, like there was just a real lack of understanding of what Fable was, or a willingness to try something new, which I guess like that's fine.
Right.
But it just seems like it took them a really long time to find it, and by most accounts, from what I've heard at least, which is not that much, but it does sound like they found it, and that it's that game is all right, or promising, I guess is maybe the right word.
Yeah.
But I used to think about it like there was that moment of like, what are the big Xbox franchises, and you're like, well, it's like Gears, Halo, Forza, Fable. Yeah. But Fable was always kind of the question mark, like I guess Fable. Yeah. But like Fable 3 was not as good as Fable 2. Like Fable kind of fizzled out. They did that Kinect game. They had Peter Molyneux making people sign the wall saying it's not on rails at E3. Like he's a maniac. He's a monster. But like Fable kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
It's and it did for a reason, because the games were not that great anymore, and that was that. So I don't know. It just
I think when you consider that, like at one point you kind of talked about that almost like Mount Rushmore of those Xbox franchises. If you're not sure between Fable and NFL Fever, like okay, like I don't know.
Force was. I would take Mech Assault over Fable any day.
For me, Fable is like, Fable 2, I've played that game. It came for free on my dad's work computer. I have no attachment to the franchise, so it's always kind of weird to hear about like the lore, the history behind Fable 3 and 4, and I'm like, it's a fantasy game, dog. I don't know if this is really it. But now the eggs are already in the basket. They can't take them out. So I guess do your best.
Do your best.
Yeah, I think they were right to revive it and give it a shot. Like it, but
it's got interesting enough ideas, and I think a warm legacy around it that it's like sure. Like I don't think people had turned their hearts away from the idea of it so much that they shouldn't have given it a chance.
Yeah.
But we'll find out more.
I think you could say that about almost every Microsoft franchise right now, though.
That's true.
Like who is Gears of War for?
Right.
Like who? Like it's a weird question, but like like the multiplayer is for absolute maniacs, like just like shotgun rolling weirdos that I don't want to ever. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
And so the idea that like, hey, we're gonna make this another Gears of War game, I'm like, that's cool, but like, who is left?
Right.
I guess as games get more expensive, that's the demographic. That's the target demo, right? Is like old dudes who still have some money left that could buy an Xbox.
Well, it doesn't help that like Microsoft can't even get their own like inarguably classic, universally beloved shit right either.
Yeah.
Like it's still we'll bring up the fact that they fucked up Halo once a fucking month on this podcast. It's like it just doesn't. It's still just doesn't compute to me that they just like couldn't figure that out. I like, it's so wild to me. So when we talk about these satellite franchises around kind of that nucleus, it's like, well, if they don't even get Halo, like it's hard to know what they could do with anything else. So
yeah,
I don't know, but we'll find
Maybe
out
if
more.
they bought a jillion studios in IP, then maybe they could figure something out of those
You know,
ones. Like, I
Lotus,
don't
that's
know.
a really good idea. What if they bought a bunch of different studios? And yeah, that's really interesting.
I'm just saying, if they did, they would probably have a lot of stuff and a lot of extremely talented people
Right.
lying around who could
Right.
make maybe even a new thing for them.
And then if they had all those resources, they could probably give those satellite studios more resources to do like kind of cooler, different, you know, more interesting stuff instead of, you know, the same fucking bullshit.
We're gonna get Arcane, and we're gonna do this 4-player co-op. No, hear me out.
It makes me so insane to think
All
about
right.
Arcane.
How about this
specifically.
then? Skyrim, but in space.
But in space.
And it's boring. How about that? Oh wait, Skyrim's boring. Hang on, I'm hearing Skyrim is boring. Okay, well this is on brand then. This is perfect.
They bought it anyways. We'll
Yeah.
just try it.
We'll just
They bought
try
these
it.
studios as these studios were getting ready to crash and burn. Like they made it. Oh, thank God Microsoft came in and kept the lights on because boy, the slate for the next few years is fucked.
Hey, what if we give Todd 100 mil? No, not Obsidian. Don't give Josh Sawyer 100 million. That's a bad idea. Don't do that.
Wait, Obsidian wants to make what? No, Todd said no.
Todd said
He
no.
said no. Todd said no.
Todd said no.
All right, great. It's the game everyone wants, though. Yeah, he said no.
We're so in the can for Josh Sawyer on this podcast. It's not even funny. Sorry, we made the wrong guy famous. It turns out. All right, that is it for our Microsoft segment. That, by the way, you can go once again to nogamesforgenocide.com. Look up the BDS boycott and put your name down if you want about what you do and don't cover with the Xbox. But you can see more of the Xbox showcase next week during the SGF week. Christ alive, that's gonna be a long fucking week.
Already tired.
I'm already tired, but that's fine. I'm mostly excited. I'll see people. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll be drunk the entire time. It's fine.
It's the dumb thing I did by moving local to it is that it's still a drive. It's still a drive home. And so it's not I'm going to stay here and get drunk for 2 days. It's I'm going to come home and then wake up and do this all over again and do it again. And yeah, so it's
Now I have to drive more. Can't even have somebody drive.
It's why I hated GDC before.
I know.
Being in San Francisco or being near San Francisco. And now
Jeff, you have a pullout in my Pasadena hotel room if you need to crash. Okay.
All right.
So I know that's a tempting offer. By the way, if you've played, I don't know, Genshin Impact, Honky Star Rail, or Zenless Zone Zero, you might be interested to know that Hoyoverse is earmarking. Lotus and I had to basically double check this math and this actual value. 14.6 billion American dollars in AI end-to-end development over the next few years, 3 years to be exact. They're prioritizing AI. They want to build full-stack AI development systems completely internally. So we're going to see gacha games you wouldn't fucking believe in the next 3 years.
there's going to be so many 5-star pulls.
So they might have to go up to a 6-star. They're gonna have the Pokemon trading card game problem, where the Japanese cards are maxed out at SSS plus, and you're like, well, you can't make another one. What are you gonna do now?
Here's the thing. I've been watching wrestling for a long time. Dave Meltzer has been giving 5-star match reviews since 1978 or whatever. You just change that shit to 6 and 7 and 7.5.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. They'll just do that. You know, it's like, because of this AI thing. AI suggested we actually have a 10-star thing. 5 is still the best, but 10's really where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get, if you can afford it, not everyone can. Not everyone can. But if you can afford some 10-star pulls,
if you're not poor,
yeah,
you would pay for a 10-star.
You would. Dave Dave Meltzer's Honkai Star Rail is now in my head. I don't know why, but
that would be.
Would he be the conductor?
He's like shuffling papers around, just going like, I mean the thing that the Honkais, it was in the Honkai Dome, and Takayama was there, and I mean it was the Burning Hammer.
It's crazy how bad he is at that shit for being around for so long. Anyway.
Well, that's why.
That's why. That's true. That's
innovated on the forum by coughing a lot.
Yeah.
That's true. Jeff, I know you play all these games. I know you play all of them religiously.
I played probably about 20 hours of Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I played a good amount of Genshin Impact. That's the only one of these I've played a decent amount of. Yeah.
Yeah, and I ran through the tutorial for Zenless Zone Zero.
Yes.
And then said, "Oh, I don't want to play this." So like I backed away before anything bad happened. But yes, I'm familiar with the form, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
It was this feeling of like, I mean, Genshin was like a real.
Oh, that was a real thing for
like, oh, they figured it out. Like, oh man, they're gonna start making games that aren't awful, but they're still gonna be monetized like phone games, and that's gonna be the end of us. And now look at us now.
Doing fine.
Yeah.
We're doing fine, no problem.
Perfect.
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
There's no dark patterns to be found in those 3 of the most popular games on the planet.
So I have been looking. I mean, the one thing I'll say before we talk about the AI stuff is, as someone who has been spending a long time recently looking at Roblox, Genshin Impact is like fine.
It's totally fine.
It's there's nothing wrong with it. Everything in there is totally okay compared to some of the shit I have seen coming out of Roblox.
I've really, I mean, I think I don't have children, so I think one of the genuine curiosities and joys in my life is kind of the secondhand, like, you know, Patrick Klepek having an entire blog based on kind of what he does for his kids. And Roblox is such an interesting thing for me because, you know, I've got, you know, my normie friends disconnected from all this stuff will sometimes ask me like, hey, Roblox. And I'm just like, hey, man, you know, I don't envy you. It's really hard to avoid Roblox as a parent, but do whatever the fuck you can to get out of it. So what's kind of what's your strat? What's your strat, Jeff, on what to do here? Because I'm very interested in that.
It hasn't come up. My oldest is 6.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And so it hasn't come up yet. And so that's been great, but it's going to. And so part of the reason why I've been spending so much time with it lately is, one, because I like terrible incremental games.
Yes. And
Roblox is full of them. But also it's been like, okay, I want to really know what this is so that I know what I'm up against when the time comes. And so I've really been digging in on it, and I think my strategy is I'm going to try to do the same thing, because my daughter started asking for a tablet or some kind of phone or electronic device. She's trying to everyone at my school has one except for me. It's not fair. It's been that's rough.
Yep.
That's been hard to deal with. But I ask her what she wants to do with it, and she says, well, you know, they play games. And I'm like, you have every video game from the last like 40 years
you're
sitting here
in an unbelievably strange situation.
Yeah.
Like very personally. Yes. Yeah.
You have like, I let you just walk around with the other Switch 2 that we have in the house so that you can play whatever. And she's playing Tomodachi Life and loving it and all this other stuff. And she's fighting over it with my son because he wants to play Kirby. But I am not going to give them both. I'm not going to take the Switch 2 that I set aside for work stuff so it doesn't get all munged up, and let him play that, because that would be the end of it. And so I'm trying to instill in her this feeling of like, and I don't want to be like look down my nose kind of a jerk about it, but like and say like, oh, you have all the real games. But I'm trying to say like, you have some of the greatest, you have all of the best games. Whatever they're playing on their tablets is probably trash. Like they're not. Like you don't understand what you have access to. And then so I'm trying to take that route. It has not worked so far, but that's what I'm going to stick to. I you know, like the tablet thing will eventually, I think, have to happen.
Sure.
Hopefully not this year.
Yeah.
She's just finishing up first grade. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
need that stuff. But they have her using a computer at school. There's they have some kind of educational game thing called Prodigy.
Yeah.
That I looked up, and I was like, oh, that's actually seems kind of neat.
It seems neat. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I could get her signed up for that, and maybe that would be kind of interesting. I think what I am going to do, maybe we'll talk about it later, but I am going to let them hold my phone for a while to play some Pictonico.
Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my strat for Roblox, is to just like, they are surrounded by every single game. My son was playing Kirby's Adventure on the Mister out here yesterday.
Amazing.
And I'm just trying to like, he's also into the Strawberry Shortcake dress up game for the Atari 2600. And I get it.
That's
so
amazing.
was I at his age, which is weird, but here we are.
Genetic.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I'm trying, I'm never forcing old games on them. I am letting them just like, here, we have all these games. If there's anything you want to know about, ask me, but also don't bug me because I'm too busy out here playing Roblox and you can't see what daddy does out here.
Can't see.
You just have to like information poison that Roblox is the lamest thing in the universe somehow.
Yeah.
It has to come from not you, but someone has to impart like Roblox. That game fucking sucks.
That shit is for losers. Kirby is where it's at.
Kirby's where it's
Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. That's my motherfucking dog right there.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that's good to know. It feels so inevitable, so I'm always curious about kind of what to do about it. If I were ever to, maybe in the next 6 years, when and if I have kids, it won't matter anymore. There'll be Roblox too, and it'll be worse somehow, and I'll have to.
I tried to tell. We have a babysitter that'll come like one day, just like a little bit here and there, and she has daughters that are like young, kind of like 13-ish.
Yeah.
And they both play Roblox, and I tried to tell her after I'd spent some time with it. I said, "Do you realize? Do you know what Roblox is? Have you seen it? Have you? But I mean, have you seen it though?
But you know.
But have you seen it though?" And I tried to explain to her all of the stuff that I had seen, and she was like, "Oh, really?" And nothing. Just it's like, all right.
Well, it's a really good tool to basically get my kids to like stop bugging me for a second. So I really don't want to like put any friction between that. So I do feel like that's a lot of what happens actually.
There's
from some of the parents in my life. There's no judgment. I just like some of the parents in my life are just like, I don't really want to hear about the bad stuff because right now it's the only thing that allows me to have a margarita by myself at the end of the day. That kind of thing.
That's, I mean, it's so we have 3 kids and they outnumber us. And it's and one is 2 and one is 6, and so the 2 older ones can kind of go in another room and like my son will play Astrobot while my daughter plays Tomodachi Life, and like they will occasionally fight about it, but they'll figure it out. They're kind of like, which I look at and go like, well, they're solving arguments. That matters too. And they've gotten so much better with hand-eye coordination and puzzle solving and all this other stuff that I look at it and go like, that's kind of cool. But there are definitely times where I go like, it's cool that they're in there because I need to be out here changing a diaper, or I need to be out here working, and like the door's open, but like I just sometimes you need some time to do some stuff. Like it's that aspect of it feels terrible, but yes, it's there are times.
I get that. Boy, I'm really happy you're here, Jeff, to talk about our next subject, because the Steam Deck is getting a massive price hike, $300 price hike to be exact for the 1 terabyte version, $240 hike for the 512 gigabyte model. I hate to bring up your personal longevity in this industry every single time you appear on the show, but
that's all I got left.
Have you ever really felt like your entire gaming setup has appreciated in value the way that yours has in the past year? I mean,
not since I started collecting Neo Geo games.
Yeah, I mean,
like that
legitimately.
Was this is well, what's the unprecedented? Unprecedented is what we all keep saying.
Unprecedented.
This is just so unprecedented.
Unprecedented price hikes across our industry.
Yeah, really unprecedented price hikes.
And unprecedented layoffs also.
Yeah, the layoffs are really unprecedented.
At what point do we unprecedented? At what point are they just precedented at this
It has to
point?
stop and then happen again.
I see.
Yeah.
So
So
if we
Stop
never.
at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the carousel, and it's just no one's hitting the big red button yet. So
Right. Yeah, it's this is not how it's supposed to go. This is like the latter days of the Genesis, when the Sega Genesis hit like a really low price point, they immediately started making kids games, and Sega put out like a Magic School Bus game and all this other crap, because they were like, well, now it's cheap enough that like younger kids are going to get it, or they're going to get it as a hand-me-down from their siblings or whatever. Like, that's how this is supposed to go. Everything's supposed to get so cheap. Like, no one should have a PlayStation 4 anymore. They should have passed it off to some younger child, because they all bought PS5s, because now those have been price dropped to a certain point. Like, the PS5 Pro was supposed to come out, and the PS5 was going to go like, oh, I guess this thing's only, $300, $250, or whatever. And it's supposed to go like that. And that's how you hit these mass market numbers by the end of a generation, because you've sold so many consoles that like everyone's buying, I don't know, what, Assassin's Creed, whatever it is. And instead it's all getting priced out of reach for so many people. And I don't know, like people, I saw a handful of people trying to get mad at Valve about this. And like, like Valve is making like 12 of these a week, however many, like compared to the other people that are manufacturing things at much larger scales. Like Valve is making insignificant numbers of Steam Decks or Steam machines or whatever. Yeah. And so they're not benefiting from any economy of scale. Like, hey, we're going to get a discount because we're making 8 trillion of these things at once.
Right.
And we can negotiate better prices for parts. Like they are in some ways going to be hit the hardest of anyone trying to do this. So it's like, it's not surprising that this happened. I think everyone knew the price was going to have to go up at some point.
Yeah.
This is more than I thought they would do, but
I think that's a really
sooner.
good. I do think that's a really good point, because everyone kind of looks at Gabe and Steam as having this kind of such a ridiculous market share that they have so much money, which is like totally true. So it's not so much that I have any sort of like sympathy for them.
No.
That's not at all what we're saying. But the infrastructure that you have to build to have this kind of manufacturing pipeline to the scale that a Nintendo or a Sony or an Xbox has is not what Steam has. That is not what they have invested in, and not what they have built. And so it does create a different set of circumstances for them, even though they would have the money to lose on this if they decided to do that, but they're never going to decide to do that. So
no, and no one would. It would be foolish to like expect them to be like,
be goofy.
Hey, power to the people! These things are $300. Like that's fun, but Gabe has knives to sharpen. They don't sharpen themselves.
He's got a yacht to fuel, so
he's got a guy that sharpens his knives. I'm sure.
Who has his own knife yacht?
Yeah, knife yacht.
It is odd though. I mean, I've just kind of looked around at my whole setup over the past, that I've accrued over the past year, and very strange to know that I could. I mean, even my fucking retro pocket bullshit is like, I could sell it for more than I bought it, probably in some cases. And it's
when the tariffs were getting bad, the audio mixer I used, the Go XLR, the company that makes it discontinued it, laid off the entire team, and I'm like, okay, well, what the hell? And I was like, well, also the tariffs are getting ready to roll out. I should probably rush and go buy something. And I went and bought like a Rodecaster that I've never unboxed, and now it is I think worth more than I paid for it. And that's just an audio mixer. That's not even a like any of this other stuff, and it's stupid.
It's pretty stupid. The random crappy sticks of RAM that I replaced stare at me from my desk every day and say, eBay.com is not a bad business, And I'm like, I might need you, so unfortunately,
exactly. There's that feeling of like, well, if this computer breaks, I need all the parts I can.
Yes.
There's definitely. I sometimes I panic bought a 5090 also.
Yeah.
When those hit something close to retail prices and it looked like that was not going to stay for long. I was like, well, I encode enough video. Like I bought it more for like rapid video encoding and AV1 codec stuff and all of that more than the gaming, which is good because the gaming end of it is like
whatever.
Not as good as I don't know, not as big of a leap as they have had in the past. And now that I'm sure is worth more than whatever I paid for it. But it's I don't want that. That's not. I'm not over here going like, yay, because I need to sell it. Like if I have to sell all this stuff, something way worse has happened. So,
no, it's just like some people at my day job were like, oh, can you like, house prices are about to go up a fuck ton. Aren't you excited? I was like, no, I'm not.
What?
No. What? Like, no, like I'm not a house flipper. I just like to live in the house that I'm in. I just feel like, I don't know. But Lotus, don't go to Ryan Cohen's Electronic Bay yet to flip that.
Gotta wait for the sale to come through. Then I can get a really good price.
Yeah, gotta wait for Ryan to chewyfy eBay.
it'll be all Funkos at that point, though. No RAM allowed.
Oops, all Funkos.
I'm sure I got one of those lying around too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can really make this business work.
Lotus, do you know what the only Funko Pop I own is? Have I told you this?
No.
Judy Hopps from Zootopia.
Okay, pervert.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Ugh.
It is disgusting. It is disgusting.
I think I have a Overwatch Tracer Funko Pop I got in like, maybe not loot box, but something like that is currently under a 1/4 inch of dust at home.
Couldn't tell you where the Judy Hopps Funko is. I will tell you that. I don't know where it is, but it's terrible. I can't believe I admitted that on the show. Steam Store also has updated a bunch of their tags. They improved the workshop UI as well. I don't know. I don't know why. This shit is just so fun to me. I don't know why, but they
just weird fiddly stuff.
They added the following tags. And I'll go from bottom up because I think they actually get more interesting as they get less interesting as they add them. But language learning, poker, cult, okay. Animals, capybaras, okay. Wolves, zoo, samurai, espionage, falling blocks, okay. Falling blocks, I'm actually surprised wasn't one before. Actually,
it's maybe my favorite from the whole list, which is like It sounds bizarrely specific until you start to think about it and you go, no, there's a lot of falling block games, actually. Maybe it's for the best.
And breaking them out like that from, because, you think of them as like puzzle games or whatever. I think breaking them out as falling blocks does a lot for every other puzzle game out there because now they're not mixed in with.
The same way Match 3 is its own.
Yeah.
Right. And then we go to. Hold on. I just lost the list. Here we go. And then we have Shansha, Wuxia. Great. Decorating, cleaning, organizing, desktop companion, and of course, Bullet Heaven, which I don't like.
It's bad.
I don't like Bullet Heaven.
It's bad for a lot of reasons.
I
don't like it. It doesn't make sense. It's not what that is to me.
It's not the opposite of Bullet Hell. Bullet Hell is a very specific thing, and Bullet Hell is not even the right. Bullet Curtain is the right term for it. Mm-hmm. And so, Bullet Heaven being like, you're the one who's doing the shooting. It's like, yeah, no shit. That's every game. Like, what do we? These are dual joystick shooters with automation.
Yeah, that's it.
They're no joystick shooters. Yeah, and they're rogue lights.
You're just playing a roguelite. Get over it.
Yeah, just get over it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You call it survivors but that's not even, I don't know.
Like I was calling them auto shooting or auto shooters or auto shooter survival games, which abbreviates to ASS, which is fun. Yes. But I think Bullet Heaven is one of the worst terms for this.
Bad.
As someone who's had to like build and rebuild genre systems on websites for a lot of years,
right?
Bullet Heaven makes me angry in about 5 different ways.
Almost deliberately confusing.
Yeah.
In a way that is itself confusing.
Yeah. And like and it's the sort of thing that like I think a lot of the people who go like, no, it's perfect, are people who already know what it is. And so if the purpose this is meant to serve is like, it's supposed to be clear for people who don't already know what it is. And Bullet Heaven says nothing about what you're about to play.
Right.
It's the same way that, like, you know, like before they called them all first-person shooters, we called them Doom-likes for a long time. And that's a terrible name for exactly the same reasons. But it made sense in the moment because Doom was such a big deal. But the further you get away, you get from that, you know, there's like, why would you continue to use that? And yeah, Bullet Heaven is there's you can't fight City Hall at some point, but and I get it. It just became the term when none of us were looking, like the same people who forced Metroidvania through on us. I've done it again. And here we are.
They've done it again, Your Honor.
I can't get mad about Metroidvania again.
Why not? Why not? This is your show. Why not?
Why not?
I have drilled search action into myself deeply enough, and I don't even think that's a great term.
It's not.
The mouthfeel is so bad, but it makes more sense.
It makes more sense. Yeah. But they did remove a bunch of stuff too, including 3D Vision, Ambient, America. America might be my favorite one that they removed. It's very funny to me. Blood, crowdfunded, cult classic, which is also super funny that was everything. Documentary, drama, Dungeons and Dragons, electronic experience, feature film, foreign. Also very funny. Yeah. Game Maker, Games Workshop, Illuminati, Kickstarter, Lego, Masterpiece, Mature, Movie, Narration, NSFW, Roguevania, RPG Maker, Warhammer 40K, Web Publishing, and Well Written. So they basically removed NSFW and Mature, and they basically just have said, okay, we're going to replace that with descriptive tags that specifically say gore or violent or sexual content.
And they have age gates and stuff in place as well already in other parts of Steam. They don't need tags for that.
They don't need tags for that stuff for sure. No judgment either way, Jeff. I'm curious. Do you have your Steam set up where you can just see everything all the time, including the?
Yeah, I do it's too. Something that I very recently was like looking at the Steam front page with a kid sitting right here, and I had a moment of like, oh shit. Yep. I should probably consider changing this. Like they're getting to an age now that it's like, oh, I had music client open over here, and it had playlists, and I had one that's just called West Coast shit.
Right.
As you do.
As you do.
And my daughter was looking around, and she looks at the screen, she goes, oh, I saw a bad word. And I said, what? Awesome. What did you see? Because I didn't even realize what she had seen. And she goes, it says shit. And I was like, oh, you just said it too. Man, fuck. God damn it, motherfucker. And so I closed the tab and said like, well, okay, it's not a good word. And I had to have that kind of quick talk with her about it. But then I was like, man, yeah, I really gotta.
It's over.
I gotta think about, stuff like that I never would have thought about before. That now, you know, she's amazing. She's a great reader.
Yeah.
And so now there's just a lot of stuff like that I typically, I have 3 monitors here because I'm out of my mind, and I have the Steam client usually like on one of them at all times. And so there's a very likely possibility that one of the game names showing on screen is going to be something I would just rather her not read.
Yeah.
And they do a good job. Like you can't just hover over it and see nudity. Like you have to click in to see the good stuff. But it's enough there that now I'm like thinking, should I remove that stuff at least from some parts of, like, and see what their filters are for keeping that stuff off of those kind of common pages on Steam.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of that stuff in my library. Like I you know, much like I tried Roblox for a while, I had a moment of like, are any of these porno games any good? Like, what even is this stuff? Like this all looks so terrible.
Yeah. But there's always one in the top 10. Like, always. Which, you know, I think I defaulted it to off when it first started, and I was just like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, there's one always in the top 10, and it's really funny to me.
Some of them are deeply funny. The comedy experience of browsing Steam does need to be preserved.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it as well. I would be reluctant to remove it, but I'd also need to be a responsible adult
Right.
at some point. So,
well, every once in a while, you'll see something that's not funny at all, and you go,
Oh, yeah.
maybe it's time to turn it off.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I kind of don't. It's not good for a tag system. I wish Steam had something else for it. But removing mature, I'm like, mature is the kind of age rating that you would want to apply to other things that are not just pornography or not just doom, gore, and blood and guts. And I'm like, all of a sudden Valve is so active updating Steam. I'm like, maybe y'all got to figure out something there. Because as much as I enjoyed like the developer created tags at the bottom of a store page that say like, this game discusses themes of suicide or whatever, just have a random text on the page feels very bizarre. That there's not something before that to at least kind of try to separate games out from one another. Because you will see Breasting Boobily Adventure 4 right next to like, my story in college, it almost ended. And you're like, I just don't know if these belong quite under the same banner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there was that period there where it seemed like there was it was just like, let's fuck Hitler, or like whatever. There's like a trilogy of Hitler
around.
Fuckers, which I think is a new tag they're probably going to add.
Yeah, Hitler
any
fuckers.
day now.
Hitler Fuckers, yeah.
Yeah, any day now. Game's going to be like, yeah, they're enough on there. We gotta
People are looking.
Franchise.
People are looking. We got to give them what they want.
Yep.
Taxonomies,
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that tags are somewhat user decided?
Yeah.
That just feels so strange. Every time I remember it, I'm like, I don't think that's how the store should work.
I will say, it's like we just talked about them not building into hardware infrastructure to really like have the same kind of relationship with its systems that Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft do, but they do own the platform for PC gaming, and it always is a riot to me that they're like, yeah, curation and stuff, I don't know, tagging, I don't know. Let's
moderation. Wait, you want us to moderate the community? We're really reluctant to step in.
That's the one that I don't feel like
they page and be happy.
Right. That's the one I always feel like they can't really get away with, but they do somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish that if there was one thing I would say about Steam, I wish that the moderation or something like that was handled a little bit better. Yeah. Instead they come up with systems like, oh, well, we're making a system so if a game's getting review bombed in China, we're going to only show reviews from your region because they're review bombing it because the translation is bad.
Right.
Or they're review bombing it because it said Taiwan is cool somewhere in there. Taiwan rips, bro. And they don't like that, I guess.
They don't like that. Yeah.
And instead of like, hey, this game developer is getting dogpiled upon, in their message boards because they dared to have an opinion about something, and now like people are insane. But yeah, they definitely could do better at that. They can't just be as much as they want to be. They can't just be this like neutral, like, well, we just want to provide a place for people to say things about whatever.
The marketplace of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, the cream rises to the top. I mean, that's why the user tagging system is the way it is. They go like, well, enough people will tag this, and we'll only show the first 5, and the first 5 will probably be pretty good because most people are not assholes until they hijack it and in mass and deliberately try to be an asshole, and then they have to step in. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
They did now make Steam now is making workshop pages semi-customizable by the developer and have a new most required by other items section, making it easier to find cornerstone mods. That's so great because Fire Pro World, that's got a lot of those issues for me personally on the workshop, so I'm excited about that. Also, you can browsing overhaul, including save searches, filters like required DLC, and quick view. Again, great for Fire Pro World. That's
super smart.
That's buttered. Yep.
Workshop was truly in the Stone Ages, which is another
thing. It was. Yeah.
I'm becoming more nervous because the more Valve is active and often making decisions that I kind of like, what's going on? Why do we care all of a sudden? Why are we looking around so much this year? So
Yeah, what are we doing, guys?
Just icks
What's
me out.
happening? Right,
An
I know.
active Valve, it just feels wrong.
Yeah.
I know. It feels very strange. Like what I remember reading their dumb fucking handbook from 2014 or whenever that was. And it was like, we're flat, we're chill, we go on a cruise every year. Don't worry about it. We're cool. We also just like all of our desks are on wheels. You just like wheel over to someone. It's like, oh, we started a new pod. Now we have our like. I just want to know. First of all, most of that stuff is probably bullshit anyway. But I would just love to know like what meetings led to these decisions to start doing this kind of stuff. Like I'm so curious about their inner workings. I mean, it's like everyone's like, well, what's going on with Half-Life 3? I'm like, no. I want to know why they started to make these workshop decisions right now. Like, I don't know why, what caused them to do this? Like, what was the inciting incident that made them go, well, arguably the straw that broke the camel's back on how bad this shit was more than 5 years ago, but we're doing something about it now. I don't know.
Well, so Sandbox just rolled out not that long ago.
Yeah.
And
true.
I don't know if you've seen, so that is the follow-up to Gary's mod for people who are not aware. And the thing they do in their Sandbox mode inside, like they have Robloxified that thing quite a bit. It's, you're launching individual games and all that, but it does still have the kind of traditional Gary's mod Sandbox thing. And the thing they did that's different from Gary's mod is you don't have to go to the workshop and subscribe to things to bring it in game. When you pull up your like spawn list to bring things into your sandbox, every single thing in the workshop is already there.
Right.
And so they have integrated that game with the workshop tighter than I want to say just about anyone else has. And that shipped pretty recently. I wonder if that was something that they're like, oh, this broke something, and while we're looking at fixing that, we did all this other workshop stuff. It's the only recent workshop-oriented thing I can think of that launched or did anything different. But
that
I don't
makes
know.
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right. Or just some generic recognition that UGC is the
Right.
big thing lately for everybody. User-generated content. Ugh.
Yeah.
If I never had to hear the term ever again,
Oh God. Yeah.
I'd be so happy.
I think Valve is like, I don't know, the thing I always heard, and this is maybe even ancient information at this point, but it was like along with the desk stuff and everything else, I heard that it actually could be really cliquish. That there was sort of a you can work on whatever you want, but if you're not working on something that everyone else thinks is the right thing to be working on, they're going to have a real opinion about you and it.
Right.
And I don't know how much that is. I don't know that necessarily filters up to Gabe himself, because he's off doing whatever. But like that was always my what I had heard about what came, that kind of came shortly after the, hey man, we're chill, just do whatevs.
Do whatever, man.
Yeah. Whatever. We don't actually mean that, but do whatever, man.
Do whatever. It's
what, you're working on moderation for the forums? No way. That's for losers.
We've built 90% market share PC platform. We're definitely flat. It's definitely a flat organization.
We're flat, we're chilling, but
We're flat.
if you wheel your desk to the wrong place, I can't help you.
Yeah.
No, you're fucked. No, get out of here.
Don't wheel it near that dude. That dude's
Don't
bad
wheel it
vibes,
near
bro.
Don't do it.
All right, Shaka. See you later.
See you, brother. God, I should play. I should try Deadlock again, huh? I keep seeing people go into that.
I tried too many times. I shan't.
I know people who are deep into it and love it and think that it's getting better all the time and all of that. But every time I've gone into it, it seems like
I've tried twice.
Yeah, it's a series of interesting ideas that I don't want to play.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. All their new character designs are really boring. They went from having that kind of weird, off-kilter, ugly but not ugly thing, and now they're getting rejects from behind the dumpsters at MiHoYo.
MiHoYo.
I find very unsettling.
Let's talk about Valnet, huh? I love Valnet. I just love.
I love companies that are dedicated to creating value. And
value. I just leading digital investment companies. That's like what I kind of look for. They bought Polygon, and they own Game Rant and OpenCritic and Collider, and they have a bunch of other lifestyle tech. And
I did not realize that OpenCritic was one of theirs.
Yes.
Interesting.
Noted.
Noted. Clock it. TheGamer is also. Shut up, Lotus.
You're so old.
Clock it. Hey, everyone, clock it.
This is how the triangle has to go. You keep bringing up how long Jeff's been in the industry. It has to come back, and I make fun of you for being old. Put those fingers down, you old man.
Clock it. Yeah, so Valnet also owns the Gamer, and on May 21st, they sent new contracts for pay per session, which is essentially just pay per click. For its new writers. Basically, it won't pay staff below 1,000 views of their articles. Pay-per-click was previously a bonus on top of base pay for high-performing articles, and now writers will earn $5 per 1,000 clicks, with their editors at $3 per 1,000. This rate only applies to the first 15 days of each post, which basically makes long-tail articles totally fucking useless. By the way, as people who've run websites on this panel before, long tail shit actually rules. Like when you build something that a lot of people access over time, and a lot of people like access it for a long time. We during COVID, when Dylan Skiffington wrote an article ranking the Animal Crossing villagers for New Horizons the week that game came out, and it literally doubled fanbyte.com's traffic for about a year and a half.
Oh, man.
And so the idea that he would then write that for TheGamer and then not get paid after the first 15 days is fucking disgusting.
It's about time someone put the screws to these writers. They've had it too good for too long. And am I right?
It's about time. I agree. Like, there's so many of them. And also,
there's so many of them.
There's so many.
And they get paid so well.
They get paid well.
They won't just take any contract here.
Like, hey, if you don't like it, drive your Porsche down to the Get a Job building instead, huh? We're Valnet. You think we have time to care about this? No. It's... Fuck, man.
It is a new low, which one wouldn't think would be possible for them.
They found one.
They found one. It's the only new thing they found.
They found a new way to fuck people over, which is great.
I don't know how much of this I should say. I mean, some of this is kind of like, obvious, kind of connecting the dots, but also it's just things I've heard from some people, is that they made this Polygon acquisition and in turn inherited a bunch of contracts, and they let a lot of those contracts go, but those contracts also were, I think, exponentially more expensive than what they were paying other people within their organization for Game Rant, which does not pay well, and a bunch of other sites. And so this feels like some sort of correction, quote unquote, of, oh, well, we made these acquisitions and now we gotta kind of hold on to some of this, but maybe what we could do in the meantime is take these gamer writers and go, fuck you.
Right, put the screws to these guys while we're on the hook for this other money we don't want to pay, that we will stop paying as soon as we possibly can.
Which is an explanation, not an excuse, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just like, man. I've been mad at Valnet for, I don't know, it feels like a decade, but it does feel like that. I know I've been mad at Valnet for as long as I've been aware of them, which was at least when I started at Fanbyte, and that was 2018. So yeah, they've just been one of those organizations that's always just kind of been in the periphery of like, we buy a bunch of shit, we pay people like shit,
there's a handful of them out there. There's like there's, was it like Gamers Group?
Gamers,
they're
GAM, URS,
maybe not Valnet low, but they're probably pretty far down there.
Pretty bad.
There's a couple other ones. I remember I took a meeting with someone kind of when I was like, I wonder what's going to be next for me here. Right. I took a few meetings. got on a call with someone who basically was like telling me about the properties that they currently owned and was like, what am I going to do with these? Because like they're doing this level of traffic. It's not like growing. It's kind of stagnant. And like they're not going viral. Like they're not on TikTok. They're not doing this. Like, what do you think I should do? And like it was like he wanted me to say like, you should probably just shut all those places down or get rid of them, which was actually, you know, from his position, probably the right answer if that's what they're looking for, because these edit teams are not going to magically morph into 22-year-old social video producers. You know, it was just like a really weird conversation. It was just so detached from like anything about like, hey, I think editorial content can be this way or it can be cool or it can be, you know, like it was really, it was a good reminder after not having had conversations like that for a good long time. But just like, oh man, there's a lot of scum out there. There's a lot of snakes. It's real rotten.
Enthusiast was also one of those that was around for a while. That was also bad. They sniffed around some ZAM properties, by the way.
They had Destructoid for a while, right? Didn't they deal Destructoid to gamers?
They did. They did. By the way, ZAM, I don't know how much I should say about this, but ZAM's pretty much dead. In case you didn't know, the head of Wowhead got laid off last week, and so that was the only thing that was ever making them money, and that's fucking dead now. So you're seeing all these networks that haven't made the next step or figured out what to do next. One, because like making money on the web is exceptionally fucking difficult unless you've got, you know, a real community that's willing to give you some money, or you have a genuinely absurd amount of eyeballs on what you're doing,
which just got a lot harder to get
which has gotten a lot harder.
The number of publications that are in that bucket also are like, I mean, we're really just talking about IGN at this point.
It really is pretty much close to IGN. I mean, the way GameStop, Jesus Christ, I'll be 184 years old.
There was a time in my life I would have been really angry about that.
But you're better now.
But you're
better's not the word I would use. But
you're not specifically sick in that way.
Yeah.
Something has been healed.
Yes.
Yeah. GameSpot, the way it's moving and the way, like, you know, I think Otaku is weirdly on the up right now. Yeah. They made some good hires, which is actually a really interesting story, which maybe we'll get into at some point later in a different episode. Just kind of that reascent has been interesting, but yeah, IGN seems to be the only one that's like inarguably kind of big in that way.
I've heard that Chris Grant is doing is really doing good work. He went to GameSpot not that long ago and is kind of running editorial. He's like a VP
their new
or whatever.
Redesign looks good. Like it's good. But
I am always when people say we're moving to WordPress, to me the only thing I hear is we gave up. And I get it. It makes sense. It's the right answer.
I know.
But as someone who was involved in building or not building, but you know, like helping with CMS design on that site in the in the Stone Age, there is a part of me that's just like,
don't do it.
We had something. The product database. What happened to it? You know, all that sort of stuff. But
I get it.
But whatever.
I get it. WordPress is actually the worst.
Also, yes, WordPress is the fucking worst.
It's really bad.
It's desperation, no matter which way you slice it.
At least the guy that runs it is nice and normal and cool. We can all agree on that he's a level-headed dude who's always making the right decisions and is very good.
I love being on Tumblr.com. It's so normal.
Anyway, if you I don't know, if you want to know more about that, Ethan Gatch wrote a good piece over at Kotaku, which we just talked about 6 days ago. So go over there. That will be in the show notes, of course, as will all of these pieces. Woo! Okay, we've talked about the news this week. Let's talk about some video games, huh? Let's talk about the PlayStation Pro that I just hooked up real quick.
Yeah,
I bought one.
I heard that people were giving you shit about becoming a PlayStation professional.
Listen, they were really they were kind of on one. Everyone was like, "John, you fucking sold out, you fucking loser." And it's not about selling out; it's about being lazy. I don't want to fix my PS5 that broke yet. I want to play shit now. And by the way, the form factor of this thing,
Mm-hmm.
it is. I have to be honest. It is not as horrifyingly ugly as the base PS5 Pro. I mean, as the base PS5. It is not that bad, but it's a riff on something that is already bad. So, and it's taller,
Mm-hmm.
which is goofy as fuck, but it is thinner, which is kind of nice. Because when I pulled this thing out of the box, I was like, great. Weird observation about the box: ripped easier than any box I have ever pulled a console out of. I could have ripped this box apart with my bare hands in a Target and put it in a backpack and stolen it, and nobody would have fucking noticed.
We've been saying, John, you need to steal more stuff.
Okay. Again, I was just telling someone about this the other day. I went to a Hastings bookstore in Sherman, Texas when I was in college with a backpack on my back and consistently stole things for a single week. And they never stopped me because it was a psychology experiment of who would stop a person in a wheelchair that was setting off the alarms, and no one ever fucking did. Now, what I did is I eventually went back and I dumped everything out I stole into a different, into one of the aisles, and I left because I didn't actually want to steal any of that stuff. But I did kind of feel like I could get away with so much more, Lotus. I could get away with so much more.
You
And
just
I
said
don't.
the whole reason you got the PS5 Pro, which, by the way, I received several notes I was not mean enough. So there's that.
Yeah, no, everyone was like, you weren't mean enough, which is awesome, great, cool. I love that.
You got the PS5 Pro because you're lazy. You
Yes,
could have cut multiple steps out of the process by not checking out.
that's true. That's true. I could have. But I bought it and I hooked it up and I did play some 007 First Light on this thing this week. And Jeff, I know you played this game. What did you?
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
I like it a lot so far. I have
Me
not
too.
finished it.
Me too. Same.
It's I really like Hitman. I think that Hitman is
They make those games real good. I
yeah.
feel like yeah.
And I like that you can see like, and so when they announced it, I was like, oh man, they are the perfect studio to make this game, because not
Made a
that
lot of
Bond
sense.
is a 1-to-1 with Hitman, but there's just enough
Right.
stuff in there. There's just enough subterfuge and espionage that like you could see
In
where they would go.
improv, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
And so I feel like they did right by those elements while still reining it into a linear video game.
Yes.
And it becomes a little bit more like, in some ways, the older Hitman games, you know,
Yeah.
where they're still giving you the opportunities and like, oh, here's you know, hey, if you don't want to just walk around and stumble into the solution, you can follow these opportunities and do it that way, sort of like Hitman.
Yeah.
But then kind of tying it all together a lot better than Hitman would ever need to be.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. The funny thing is the game is so high powered in the opening with the training montage and the way it goes from gameplay out of gameplay and back in again. It has some really neat tricks. However, for as cool as that sequence is, it did not teach me how to play the game well enough, because I was paying so close attention to like, oh my god, how are they doing this? Like I'm shooting a gun and then he's running and then it's back to a cutscene and I'm doing this and we're getting the flag and playing double dare and doing all this. And and I was like so paying such close attention to the thing they were doing that when it came time to actually get in a fight like 20 minutes later, I was like, wait, oh right, I can grab the guy when he blocks. Okay, this is the grab button. Okay, right. Like it was actually like a really shitty tutorial for as amazingly presented as it is. But kind of once I got past that, and you know, like I think it's really it's a really fun way to rework a lot of the Hitman stuff, and it feels Bond-like enough with the gadgets and some of that. I mean, they're telling a story at a very, you know, obviously he's 26 or whatever he is, and he's not a 00 agent, and so they that is the story they're telling. And I like that as well, because I think established Bond, obviously they've made a zillion movies and other games about that, but it's up there. I'll know more when I finish it, I guess. But like for me, it is close to everything or nothing as far as like the most Bond-like Bond game.
Yeah, I've been playing this game kind of really, you know, with this very keen memory of 30 years ago playing GoldenEye, and and just kind of, yes, like these little optional missions and these, everything or nothing is a good shout too, of like a very Bond experience in games, and I like that this still has some of that kind of DNA of yeah, you've got some like optional things to do, and little flourishes that you want to find in each level, and it's got some really classic design chops that I really like, that feels kind of almost a throwback in a way that I really admire. I think your point about older Hitman is right, where they're using some of their older DNA to go, yeah, we could just kind of design a game like this and it'll still be really interesting and sing. The tutorial is really funny because, in my head, I'm like, okay, Bond origin story. Yeah, you're thrust into a terrible situation and everyone around you that's more equipped than you is dead. And that's how they kind of like start this. And you're on the radio with someone that's like, oh God, oh geez, you're not trained for this at all. Sure. But you go from like, being a little bit timid and scared to, oh, by the way, I know the specific Serbian dialect. And also I'm gonna see a scientist get killed and be like, by the way, there's a 1% chance that I'm gonna die and everything's gonna blow up. Yeah, I'm gonna take those odds. It's like 5 minutes after you're thrust into this. I was like, okay, well that's James Bond, baby, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
So, and it just kind of keeps escalating from there in an interesting way. So I do like this game a lot. I think I don't know. It's just been a minute maybe since I felt it, and it's ironic because it's Bond and it's an IP that's been done to death in a million different ways.
Yeah.
But it feels fresh again in this space, I guess, in a way that I'm having fun with. We've had a couple of those experiences this year. Like Marathon is a really different experience than I was expecting, and I think that's been really nice to have. And this represents kind of the other end of that spectrum of a single player experience that I don't think I was expecting quite to like as much as I am, but I like it a lot.
It feels like they're moving things forward in some ways, like a lot of the of big budget games feel like they're spinning their wheels a bit. But it's something I'd say about Marathon as well, is that this genuinely feels like, okay, they're putting some extra thought into this. They are really leveraging, like they are taking this stuff to the next level in a way that a lot of other games don't. And I really appreciate that.
I have liked seeing the evidence that there are other development teams that are bored to death with what has been out there. Like,
right.
And that's what it's felt like to me. I was like, oh yeah, okay, Bungie is bored to death with stuff, so they made Marathon, and it's, it might be the death knell of that company. Like I don't know, but it's a swing, and I'm really
if Marathon kills them, they were dead already.
Yeah,
right. Like Destiny was the problem. It's not,
it's not them. It's not Marathon.
It's them going down swinging.
And I like that IOI was like, okay, I know this isn't how it worked, but it does feel like they're like, oh God, we published Mind's Eye, didn't we? Huh? All right, let's make this Bond game fucking sick. And it's like, all right, well, good job. Like you did it. You made me give a shit about a franchise that I think I was kind of done giving a shit about. It's kind of it's fun.
So many developers. I think when you go back and look at the history of James Bond games,
yeah,
and this is something I would also lay at the feet of GoldenEye. It's GoldenEye's fault in a lot of ways, but so many developers just approach it as a pure action thing, as like action plus like you have a gadget that might as well just be a red key card. Like it's just like, here's another way to open a door. It's a watch. And so many studios just never explored other facets of what the character or the movies or any of that stuff. Like James Bond is more than just like, I'm walking around with a gun out shooting people,
Right. Yep.
And like Activision, like the fact that they got back around to it, and on the Wii, they're like, GoldenEye Rogue Agent, fine, we'll give you what you want. Here's the new GoldenEye. It was just like the saddest.
It was so sad.
Sad. Man.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Everything or Nothing, because I feel like EA and they did not like EA made a lot of Bond games in that.
Yeah.
They had the license for a while. That is the only one that I think they really, really, really got it right.
Yeah.
And I'm not like I'm not a huge James Bond guy, but
me neither. Yeah.
But I respect when it's done well in a game.
Yeah.
And that's been nice.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to playing more of it this weekend. I think I am. Of course, I hate some of the streamer influencer cameos that I've seen in this game. It's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
there's some weird stuff of just like Jacksepticeye showing up, and there's just weird stuff of just like, okay, I don't really know why we did this, but there's stuff in this game that I think is good enough to weirdly make me forget about some of those head scratcher decisions. So.
That stuff, man. I wonder if this will end up being the last time someone, because that just doesn't seem like it moves the needle for games anymore.
It doesn't seem like it does at all.
So all those streamers are going to stream that game once, whether they're sponsored or not,
Sure.
and they're going to go, "Look, it's me," and then what?
Yeah. What's step two?
Yeah. We had that game that Shroud invested in, the shooter.
Yes.
That came and went. That
Yeah.
he was like, he seemed on stream very done with, even though they sent me numerous press releases talking about, well, Shroud's an investor in the game and he's going to be playing it a lot. I'm like, is that supposed to make me care about, like, what is the game good? Turns out not really.
Really?
And so like that whole influencer culture, or let's put this person in this game, or let's try to make sure that they have what they need or whatever. I think like the era of that stuff going as far as it has seems like if it's not coming to an end, then it's just people wasting marketing dollars at this point.
Right.
I just don't think that stuff matters. I got the impression that, this is because I spend too much time on TikTok, but I saw a series of videos of people going like, oh, this is why so-and-so doesn't stream Arc Raiders anymore. And it was like, the reasons they were giving were because the devs are not paying enough attention to them. Like, oh, if they call up with some comments or questions, they want to be able to get somebody on the phone. There's this ancient clip of Ninja playing Fortnite, and it's him watching someone who is cheating at the game,
Right.
and he's like, I'm gonna call Epic, and he's like on stream on his phone going, Mark, and I can only hope it's Mark Rain. Because I just imagine Mark Rain taking this call and going, fucking what the fuck? But it's probably not him. But he's like, Mark, no, can you do something right now? Can you do something right now? Can you take care of this cheek? I'm on stream right now. He's like, oh, can you? Oh, well, can you like DM me someone's number? And it's like the guy on the other end of the phone going, like, clearly going like, what, dude?
What do you want me to do?
What do you want me? And it's just like, I think that the idea that people in those situations where they're like streaming to a large audience and thus should be able to call up and get someone banned from the game is disgusting. Straight up.
Disgusting.
It worked great for Overwatch.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
I can only hope it's done, and it's on its way out, and it's not a thing that anyone has to think about ever again. It is so grim every time.
Fingers crossed. Lotus, you played 3 very interesting looking indie games. We'll start with Carrot Kingdom. There's a bunny in this one. There's a rabbit.
There's a bunny in this one. I won't say much because it is free and 15 minutes long. But if you look up
15 minutes?
I'd say about 15 minutes long, maybe 20.
Damn. That's fine.
If you Google Pico 8 Carrot Kingdom, it should show up on the Pico 8 BBS.
You are Pico 8 pilled right now.
It's just been happening lately. I love this.
Is this the same thing as the Atari 2600 homebrew game, Carrot Kingdom? Or is that a different thing?
I believe it's a coincidence.
It is the same.
It is?
Is it a coincidence?
I thought it was.
Okay. Because I looked this up, because like, Carrot Kingdom, what is that? And that was the first thing that came up, and I was like, oh, wow, okay.
You are correct. It is a coincidence. These are 2 different games.
Okay.
Yes.
So the Pico 8 Carrot Kingdom. Okay.
Yes.
Pico 8 Carrot Kingdom. Don't get them in trouble with Atari, please. Thank you so much.
Don't.
It's homebrew. It's not real Atari.
It's not real.
No, I'm just fucking around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little puzzle platformer. You play as a rabbit. You need carrots. You can stretch your ears, and there's a lot of fun little like puzzle surprises therein. So you should play it.
You should play it.
Grab some stuff with your ears. Eat them carrots.
Lexa Lawful or itch.io has got you. We'll put it in the show notes. But you also played Panthalassa.
Yeah, I think I talked about when I played the demo for this some time ago. Full game is out now. It is a menus game, true menus game. You are formerly a crappy little deep sea submarine robot that's just supposed to swim around looking at stuff.
Fuck, I love the way this looks.
It looks so good. You crash into some weird alien question mark underground facility. You get uploaded into a robot android something inside there, and you just gotta figure everything out. It's a lot of touching, stuff, spinning knobs, looking at things, dials, etc. I will say, compared to the demo that I played, it is much more straightforward, and it does sometimes explain things. Not in a hand-holding way, just in the sense that the demo didn't give you shit to work with. It would truly just throw you into interfaces and be like, well, there's only one way you're getting out of this room, and it's figuring this out. A part of me kind of wishes it was more obtuse like that again, but I understand why they did it. It looks so good. A lot of music for shrimp in there is how I would describe it.
Cool.
Music for shrimp.
If you were a shrimp, this is the music you would listen to.
You would love the music.
So ska then.
Shrimp.
If
a lot of skanking in this game. Yeah. There's some scenes in this game that just kind of look like the Sega Saturn CD player interface, which is like maybe the highest compliment I could give you in terms of just kind of like wanting to play something.
Yeah, it's cool. There's some existential robot stuff in there, which is really fun.
Love that. This is $14. I might go pick this up now. This looks great.
Spin those dials.
Sick. Spin the dials. You also played another game called Phonopolis.
Yeah, this is Amanita Design's new game, point-and-click adventure game kings. They do the Samorosts is probably their most well-known thing. Machinarium, Botanic, Chuchel, Pilgrims, etc.
Again, reminder, the first game I ever purchased on my Steam account, Machinarium.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a good game. Also, the composer from Machinarium is back. They haven't worked with them on everything. Nice. But similar to Samorost, I think most people would be able to like recognize an Amanita game, but might not know that most of the stuff in their games is made in real life, like these weird kind of sculptures that they scan and then put in the game. That's true for the first Samorost games. And so Phonopolis is made almost entirely out of cardboard, and they're just all these huge painted dioramas that they made. I think Floex, the composer, even apparently committed some things to tape and then re-recorded them while like physically altering the tape, so it has a little bit of an extra strange sound to it, because music is like a core thing. This is a little point-and-click adventure, dismantled fascist dystopia kind of game. That sounds a little bit more twee than I describe it as. I don't know. I think a lot of games are now using like capitalism bad, dismantle fascism in such a low way that is the same as like your princess is in another castle. This one, I like the level where it's not just kind of broadly gesturing to it. It is just a more lighthearted game. It's also much less obtuse than other Amanita games. There's a narrator, there's a story, there's voiceover that I did enjoy, and
because some of their older games do be obtuse. Like
Samorost is a lot of clicking on stuff and hoping something will happen.
Like, maybe this.
Is this clickable? Phonopolis does solve some of those problems, but I do still think it is part of Amanita's maybe core design philosophy that sometimes they just say, yeah, we made all this stuff by hand and you're going to look at it and click on some stuff for fun, which I do enjoy. There's some puzzles where you're just looking around and it's like, oh, I solved the puzzle. Okay. I'm not done with Phonopolis yet, but even just like starting up the game just kind of makes you happy. Just like looking at it.
I mean, it looks amazing. This is one of the best looking games that I've seen come out this year. So it's available on Steam. It's regularly it's regularly $25. Let's see, when is this going to come out? You can get it for $23.
I know a guy who can get it to you.
I know a guy. Gabe, you might unlock this thing for free if you give him some free yacht fuel.
Some free yacht fuel.
Free yacht fuel. I played a game this week as well called Mina the Hollower. Yeah, that's Yacht Club's make it or break it game for $20. It seems to have done very well in its first couple days.
I'm curious to know.
It's listen, they made this thing look a lot like in Link's Awakening for a long time, but it's not like that. It's like a fucking it's Bloodborne, huh? So it's a real kind of sicko shit. Pick your weapon. Boy, we just talked about tutorials that don't really teach you what to do. Mina the Hollower it kind of drops you into a series of events that will teach you what to do if you really kind of experiment with them enough, with the mechanics enough. But there is never a moment where there's an NPC that's like, oh, by the way, if you hold this button, you can do XYZ. They just expect you to experiment with things until you kind of understand what everything does. This has a lot of the same DNA as Hollow Knight in the sense of finding a lot of secrets in the world, finding a lot of collectibles. There are a lot of collectathon elements of this game, as well as just kind of your hard line Dark Souls, Bloodborne. You have your vials, and you have your dodging, and you have your you have the different things that your core weapons will do. It wants you to experiment with things, but it doesn't really open that stuff up until a little bit later in the game. It's cutesy. It looks great. I think the thing that I struggle with the most, maybe it's just my fucking old eyes at this point, but there is something that this art style is doing where, because it's got the color palette of more of a Game Boy Color and not like an SNES, the things it's trying to do with depth of terrain is actually hard for me to decipher just at first glance. So in the first like half hour of this game, I felt like it was hard to discern what you're jumping off of that you cannot jump back onto, and what you are able to go back and forth freely. Like, that was hard, and I just genuinely at this point in my life am unclear if that's just kind of like, well, John, you're just fucking old at this point, or is actually just not well kind of visually designed. So I do have like some nits with this, but much in the way that I think like, Hollow Knight has Shovel Knight. Fuck. It's crazy that there are two games that.
And also Hollow.
Okay.
When you first mentioned Hollow Knight, I immediately thought of Shovel Knight, and I was like, oh, so yeah, she's the Hollower for the Hollow. And I was like, oh wait, no, those are totally different.
Yeah, I actually meant to say Shovel Knight the first time around, but now I'm actually talking about Hollow Knight in the sense that there are a lot of NPCs and small quests that are never signposted, and so I do like how. I don't know. Like, I do like how Fez kicked off, and we talked about Fez last week too, which is really funny. Kicked off a series of independent games that have kind of tapered off, but now kind of come back in the sense of like, well, I hope you have a notebook and a memory, and kind of like you remember these things that we're never going to keep track of for you, but are rewarding if you follow them. And Mina the Hollower has a lot of that, and and I don't know, you're just a cute mouse that kills shit, and it's fun.
How do you feel it compares to something like Tunic, which is kind of similar,
Tunic
perspective-ish,
Tunic
Bloodborne-ish?
was obtuse in a way that I actually kind of grew to hate a little bit. I didn't love the way Tunic did that as much as some other people did. I'm just like, oh, like you gotta. I thought it was too much for me, and also the problem that Tunic had is like I thought its moment-to-moment gameplay was not fun and rewarding enough for me to love that. The combat was a little bit whatever for me.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like it's not
fine.
Yeah,
I wasn't big in the combat. I need to replay it because they have accessibility settings. I need to replay it with all the combat turned off and just see how I feel about it.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
I almost like if you turn that into like Monument Valley, I'd almost like it more.
More on the adventure side of things.
Yeah, and where Mina the Hollower, like I do think there is some imprecision with the kind of the forward cardinal direction, sense that you're moving on this grid, where it's like, okay, now it's Dark Souls. It's like, that doesn't really work, does it, huh? For kind of forward movement. You get some diagonal, but you're still really working on this kind of very obviously grid-based system. So
that was what stopped me from playing Binding of Isaac.
Sure.
Was the
it
four
reminds me
direction
of that
stuff.
a little
I was just
bit.
like,
Yeah.
fuck this, I can't.
Yeah, and so, but because you have your choice of weapons and you have some alternate tactics to dispatch of enemies and bosses, I feel like your immediate keyring of abilities that are available to you kind of make up for the fact that some of that stuff is a little too imprecise to do what it's trying to do. Because I agree, like Binding of Isaac doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Until you've done a lot.
No, you can just stop there. Yeah,
you can stop
you're
there. you got it, bud.
Yeah.
I poured a lot of hours into that game. It doesn't feel good.
It still doesn't feel good. Like you can do some things in Binding of Isaac to make it feel marginally better, but already I feel much more positive about Mina the Hollower than I do Binding of Isaac in that way. So I think it's neat. I think it is a I think it's cool that they finally got out of Shovel Knight and did something else. I think it's a shame that it took as long as it did, and it feels like it's like more important than maybe the makers of Shovel Knight should have to make their next thing. Like it feels more make or break than maybe it should, but seems like it's doing well, and I certainly like it. I'm about to drive out to LA for SGF, so I'm excited to like get to my hotel in Flagstaff and play Mina the Hollower for like 4 hours before I go to bed or whatever. I like this game a lot, so I think you should check it out, especially if you like Hollow Knight or Shovel Knight or Link's Awakening, which is the best one of those top-down Zeldas in my opinion. And yeah. Jeff, you want to talk about Pictonico?
Yes. Nintendo's back on phones where they belong. Finally.
Awesome. Thank God. I've always been wondering.
Yeah.
When they getting back into this.
They made a WarioWare for phones without Wario in it. It has the hot new Nintendo character, Masky, who is a mask that shows up over the eyes of one of your photos, and then it says, "Hi, I'm Masky." And then Masky tells you about how your photos are going to be used with a little button at the bottom that you can click for more information about privacy settings.
Related to Cappy?
I have to play through it. Maybe that'll be the big late game reveal. But
once you 100% the game,
exactly,
the secret ending,
Cappy will show up and go, "Hey, bro."
Yep.
And that's how we find out about Super Mario Odyssey 2.
That would be. They
it's
should
the
do
funniest
that.
thing they could do.
Yeah.
So
it would tie right in with how they've been trying to announce things on their phone app of just like, we dropped this trailer at the end of Pictonico.
Yeah.
It is a WarioWare game. It is WarioWare touched too. It is like, but it is pulling photos from your device, and so it is just randomly grabbing a photo, and then you have to touch the screen to make their jaw go up and down and go rom 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 so that they eat the food. Or you need to touch a lollipop and bring it up to the face of the photo, and then the tongue on the face licks the lollipop and goes blah, 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 blah. And so they've built like 80 different micro games. They don't even call them micro games. They can't even stick with their own dumb term. They have made all of these little mini games. That's my term, little mini games.
Little mini games.
That all pull in photos from your phone for the faces of characters, and you touch the screen to do stuff with them or what have you. And it is the exact like pacing and cadence and musical styling and between level like that type of thing in such a crazy specific way, like Intelligent Systems worked on it and anything, that you have to like, I don't understand why they'd had to go and come up with Masky when they've got an entire menagerie of WarioWare characters that they could have pulled in. Even one of them's like, hey, here's Dr. Krygor's photo party, or whatever. I guess that doesn't matter, but it is neat. As someone with a lot of photos of kids on the phone and stuff, it's like, oh, that's like, it's weird having baby photos of a child that it pulls in. And then like, okay, you lick this lollipop, stupid kid. And at the end, you can download little video, like it shows videos, it records videos of what you've done in the mini games if you want to like download them and share them with people. that stuff doesn't seem super shareable. Like watching them out of context seems like, okay,
Yeah, sure.
are you? So why did this hair turn from straight to curly? Oh, because you were rubbing the screen. Great, that's fun. So I think that aspect of it is like they tried, but
whatever. Right.
It's like the freestyle in Just Dance. Like, no, I just look like a fool. I don't know when it happens.
Yeah. They're selling it. It's a free download, and then they are selling 2 different packs of games. So it's like a 50 game pack and a 30 game pack, I think is what it is. And then like the 50 game is $8, and the 30 game is less than that. It is neat.
It's the game is free to download and start, but only a handful of mini games are available for demo, and you got to buy those packs.
Yeah,
so.
And it also has to scan your entire library of photos
to make it available to the game.
Yes,
right.
And Maskey asks you before the pop up says like, "Hey, we can use your photos. We're gonna use your photos. Is that cool?" They've also got a mode in there where you take a photo and it just uses that photo right then and there. So that's like if you're with someone and go check this out, you can take a photo of them right there and put them in the game, which is I think smart. And not only so yes, it asks for access to your full photo library, and then it has to process them. And so I have 20,000 photos in iCloud because I took every photo I've ever taken and dragged it into a folder and uploaded it all to iCloud. So I have like drunk party photos from the late 90s in there, along with photos I took yesterday of kids and stuff, which is I don't now, but I don't know what I'm going to do with that because I don't know if it's going to pull weird old photos, but it's always just faces, so maybe that's not that big of a deal. And you can limit it to certain albums if you want, but I don't have albums it's like the folders that the iPhone creates based on different apps you have used to take photos.
Right.
And so it's not like, hey, it's not pulling like the only use photos of these people. It doesn't have any functionality like that, which I'm kind of surprised it doesn't, because the iPhone has all that stuff. Like they could definitely be pulling that. But I don't know, like that. It had to sit there for about 20 minutes and stare at the 20,000 photos to find the ones with faces and go, here are the ones we found with faces. And then from there it was fine. I don't think you have to wait for that. You can just let it happen in the background or something. But I just opened it and it says, your device will not go to sleep. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
And let it run. But it's really neat. And it's really crazy to me that they made a backdoor WarioWare game like this. And I don't understand the I'm sure there's like just some weird political reason at Nintendo where they're like, no, we don't want to bring the power of Wario to your phone.
Right.
Wario's too strong for the iPhone.
Yeah. If you want Wario, you need to pay us $80 for the magic of Wario on your Nintendo Switch 2 family entertainment system.
I mean, you're right. Like it is so. I'm watching just gameplay videos of this now, and it's like it is so similar to WarioWare. It makes me feel a little bit crazy that they're like, oh no, it's not that though. It's like, well, okay. It's like,
and like the producer of that franchise has like moved on from the company, so I can't imagine that there's something there, but But I'm trying to piece together why they wouldn't do this, and the only thing I can come up with is that they think Wario is premium, and you don't get him in a phone game. Yeah,
which is also strange because I mean they put fucking Mario in the same situation. Mario Run, and you.
So I wonder if that informed this. If they're just like, oh god, we're never falling for that again.
Maybe. I mean, honestly,
you come up with Maskey. You can put Maskey on phones.
Yeah, I do wonder. I mean, maybe that is the calculus that they did.
Either way, it's clever, and if you are looking for something that is WarioWare-esque in your life, and none of the like great indie games that have come along over the last couple of years that are pretty solid WarioWares that on their own do it for you, this is a lot closer to the real deal.
Sick. Folks, that's what we played this week. If you go to vgbs.com/join the Hive, you can go to our Discord, vgbs.com/Discord. You can ask us Hive questions. We'll answer them every single week on the show. We had a lot this week. I may be a little choosy. We had a lot this week, so let's get a few going. But Chris Dullfocus asked, maybe my favorite question, and I'm really glad we have the panel today to answer it. As part of the House Appropriations Bill, VGBs is now the governing body for the new White's Wedding National Recording Registry. Any songs on the registry that are now required to be played. So what songs are you all approving for the White's Only Wedding National Registry? What's up, Lotus?
Somebody told me by the Killers.
Okay,
That's
somebody told me
that's
about the
top of
Killers.
my
That's a
top
good
of my
one.
list.
Trap
You know what's
Queen.
funny?
Ooh, yeah.
That was played at my wedding.
As it should be.
Oh, MIA Paper Planes. That was played
Sure.
at my first wedding. So
Yeah, you have unprecedented insight into this.
I do have unprecedented. I've got two of them. And one didn't work out, and one was whiter than the other. So yeah.
Do you think it didn't work out
one.
because of MIA's Paper Planes was played? Do you think it was like presaging somehow who MIA would later reveal herself to be?
Jeff, actually, you're so much closer than you even realize. I think, yeah. I mean, I think kind of, yeah. I think that was a theme of kind of like not knowing who someone was until much later. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. So yeah, that's good. I mean, like honestly, like Shout is already kind of on there, like as being one that us white people just love to like. We love to get a little bit softer now. We love to get a little bit softer now.
Mm-hmm.
We love to get a little bit louder now. We love it. We
Oh,
just
yeah.
love to be told what to do and kind of to do it together. You know,
Line dancing, basically.
line dancing. Yeah.
A 2C slide.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first name in line dancing.
The first name in line dancing, Tuesday
Yeah.
Slide and Hit the Quan.
I mean, I mean, Drake's got 3 albums out now. I mean, why not just play those back to back? I mean, I feel like that's...
It'd be efficient.
Yeah.
It would be efficient. Running through the things with my walls. Great question, Don't Focus. Thank you. Maca Brett, I'm only answering this question because it's literally the last time we can ever bring it up. But hey, John, I was listening to the Pit cast for season 2 this week. You can go listen to that now. Danielle Riando and I talked about the Pit season 2. I heard you were in a car accident. Anywhere else you can hear about this, please don't ban me. Please don't ban me. Please don't ban me. Yeah, that's right, folks. We are, as of this recording, 1 day away from the 1-year anniversary of my car accident. And it's the last time that it'll ever come up on this show. As I did bring it up too many times during the period where I was recovering. Yeah, reflecting on that, it's interesting. I did realize, this is a good observation, I've gotten a lot of tattoos on my right leg, as I think I realized that my nerves are deader on my right leg where I had the car accident. So that's a fun kind of tidbit of information for everyone. Maca Brett, thank you for asking me about this. And yes, this will be the last time we ever talk about it on the show. So
That's what he thinks.
Yeah. You put a Post-it next to the monitor that says, "Don't talk about the car wreck."
And then I have my post-it that says,
Yeah.
"Have you mentioned the car wreck today?" John, very early in the
Just
podcast,
mention adjacent things. Just like, well, Destruction Derby in town this week.
Destruction Derby.
at the beginning of the pod, John used the word crash in the same sentence as talking about Summer Game Fest, and I was like, "Don't say it."
Don't say it.
It'll number one,
Don't
it'll
say
come up
it.
later. Number two,
Yeah.
I'm exactly superstitious enough that I didn't want to say it this
No,
close to it.
it's so fair, Lotus. Like I'm supposed to go do stuff tomorrow. I've thought about it. I've been like, should I go do stuff?
Yeah.
Should I just kind of stay put? Maybe I should just kind of stay put, sit in my house.
But what if staying put is what I mean?
I know. What if a car comes through?
What if a
the
car
window?
crashes into your house?
It's just, woo, I'm dead.
Well, then,
so,
to be
yeah.
fair, you wouldn't be in a car crash. You would only be struck by a car. So it's not the
That's
same
true.
thing.
That's true. It's not the same thing. What if it's the same uninsured Lexus driver who works for Grok that just runs through my building?
I love it to be a final destination thing. It's not a car crash, but he does find a way to kill you at SGF.
Yeah. That would be sick. Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love to be killed by the Grok guy from the crash from a year ago. Jason asks, short of every human on the planet buying 2 copies, is there any way GTA 6 actually makes enough money to meet whatever number of success looks like in the quadruple A space? Not day one, but they're not banking on day one.
No.
I think
they're banking on 10 years of this shit. So,
I think it depends on, because there are so many things we still don't know about what they will do with online. If that will launch day one, if that will come later, if they're, without that information in place, it's hard to say. Because their day one sales, I mean, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
But if they can also sell a bunch of shark cards in conjunction with that, that's what's going to put them over the top.
It'll break some sort of fucking record. Maybe like it'll do something, but it won't do the thing that they need it to do until a few years after I think it comes out. But whatever metrics of success that they're looking at in terms of like, oh well, we saw this kind of success with 5 up front, so we know what to project, even though like it doesn't really work one to one like that. But it's like I think they'll know pretty soon. Or
they put this out and the online ends up blowing it and it splits the user base, and there is some scenario where like if they mess up the online part of this, like Red Dead, this goes incredibly bad.
I don't think it's impossible that happens either. I mean, like I still think they've calibrated this.
Yeah.
So
they do know,
finely tune this. In such a way that it's like I think they just know what they're doing, which also becomes
that's what they said about Payday 3.
It's true. I mean, that's a really honestly.
But
great...
Embracer was involved with that one.
Sure,
that is true.
Yeah,
but I do think that was
a huge.
No one actually said that about a Payday 3, but yes,
Right.
No, but I do think that was one of those things where I was like, wow, that really fucking beefed it. That was surprising. I mean, it was surprising to a degree. So I don't know. Stranger things have happened, but that would be a very
it's highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. Jason also asked, question prompted by last week's pod: how much does John drive? I've got 18,000 miles on a car I got in August. I drive 60 miles a day to and from work. I drove to Key West, South Carolina 2 weeks ago. I'll drive to LA. I drive a lot. I mean, I have a converted van for my wheelchair, so it's not like all my friends could be like, jump in this car and let's go somewhere. So since I got a car when I was 16, I drive. I just drive people. And it's a good fucking thing. I like it okay because I do a lot of it. And maybe real chicken egg situation. Maybe I've learned to love it because I knew I had to fucking do it.
That was my relationship with driving. I hated driving. And then after a couple of years, I was like, it's fine.
And I've also never lived anywhere with good public transport. Like LA seems like an obvious place for there to be good public transport. Nope, not there. If I lived in Seattle, like that's decent. But no, like I've never lived anywhere. The DART here in Dallas fucking stinks. So.
When I was living in Northern California, I was north of the Golden Gate Bridge, and so there was no. They finally did put in some kind of train, but it's like a train that goes to a ferry terminal, and then you have to sit on the boat for a while, which is nice if you like to drink on a boat. But if you're just trying to get it done, then you got to go to the ferry terminal and then walk the rest of the way, or take a something stupid like that. So, it's all bad.
Some bullshit. Bone Chug Actual asks, I love this question. What national food chain has the best name that could be a game?
Is Zaxby's national?
Yeah.
I might go with
national enough.
Zaxby's.
I don't think there's any out here,
just
but
letters.
Jack in the Box.
Yeah, Jack in the Box is good.
Jack in the Box is really good. Let's agree on the ones that aren't good. Arby's, Burger King, McDonald's.
I mean, Burger King they made 3 Burger King games. So
the Sneak King.
Yeah.
Of course.
Big Bumpin'.
I actually think if you like really just like divorce yourself from what you know about it, Olive Garden feels like a dumb indie game, like an esoteric, real inscrutable.
A bullet heaven where you play as an olive.
Sure. Yeah. Olive Garden is an incremental game. you know, like
Sure.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, crumble cookie. I guess
Crumble.
I don't know if that
Oh,
counts
yeah.
as fast food, but
No, but it
It's in
just
this
says
space.
national food chain. It just says
oh, that is
national
true.
food
National food.
Yeah.
chain. Texas Roadhouse is an obvious one. That's like felt like made by
Yeah.
like a single dev in Atari kind of era of like, you play as Bubba and you have to get through waves of
Punch all these
enemies
guys.
yeah. Yeah. It's a good question though.
Ooh, if IHOP gets the full name, International House of Pancakes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sad that Harada's not going to be able to put Waffle House in Tekken, huh? Because that Saudi game's never coming out for whatever
Yeah.
they're doing, probably.
Yeah.
So, no Waffle House. Sphinx asks, how much cheese is too much cheese, and how short is the break after hitting that point before eating more cheese? I do like cheese a lot, Sphinx. I don't think Ooh, you know what? It really depends on what I'm doing. If I'm grating a bunch of cheese to be put into a bag and eaten later, I'm eating an unbelievable amount of that cheese.
Grated cheese is easier.
It's so much easier.
Your throat will tell you when it's been too much cheese, and
Yeah.
you're done for like a few hours.
That's a good point.
It's not
Yeah.
your stomach. You'll feel it right here, and you'll go, "I have to
No.
stop right now."
Yeah.
No.
This is the end of it. Like I need to
This-
drink a bunch
it's
of
over.
water, something, paint thinner, something that is going to get this feeling out of my body. Yeah.
Yeah, the mucus buildup is what tells me Sphinx
Yeah.
when it's too much. My Hero Zero asked for a 1 week review of the PS5 Pro. We kind of talked about that, so I'm gonna move on. Bone Chug Actual asks, have you ever experienced a dish with too much garlic?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you got the whole little slices in there.
Yeah.
I like garlic, but I don't want to constantly chew on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flavor wise, though, maybe not.
Yeah, there's kind of been a movement, at least I feel like on Instagram and TikTok, like it's past, but there was, kind of like an epic bacon movement of like, you can never have too much. When it calls for 2
Yeah.
cloves of garlic, put a whole head in there. It's like, no, that's
Enough.
you can go way the fuck overboard with garlic. You can't. So that's true. My Hero Zero does ask, do you have a favorite jazz album or jazz musician?
H. John Benjamin.
That's a great answer.
What did he call that album?
Oh, what did he call that album?
Oh, I'm
Fuck,
looking
I
it up
remember
right
when-
now.
Yeah, I am too. H. John Benjamin jazz album.
It's called Well I Should Have.
Well, I should have. Yep.
And then the asterisk is there, and then it says at the bottom, like, learned to play piano.
God, that's so good. That's so fucking good. I really like Mulatu Astatke, the Ethiopian jazz pioneer from the 70s. That's my answer. My
Like
Hero
that.
Zero.
Say generically, I've listened to a handful of Japanese jazz fusion
Sure.
as of late.
I hope I get her name right, but Doreen Ketchins, who plays in New Orleans on the clarinet, she knows how to play that shit.
Okay. Clarinet, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever voluntarily be like, yeah, I want to listen to some clarinet. I feel like I can say that because I used to play the oboe, which also sucks.
We talked about it. It's an inherently lame instrument, but she goes crazy. You can find her.
I
little
played clarinet
performances
for
on
2
YouTube.
years as a kid, and then switched to alto sax.
Alto sax.
Went a few years with that, and then got into high school, and then the teacher was too competitive about how music should be taught and played, and it sucked the life out of me, and I hated it forever.
You had your own whiplash, but about an alto saxophone.
Yeah.
Jason asking, do we have a favorite jizz musician?
I only know Max Rebo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fake jizz fan.
I'm a fake jizz fan. I'm a fake jizz fan. My Hero Zero asking, has the rivalry been settled? And clearly we're talking about the biggest beef in games, and that is between the VGB's podcast and Jeff Gerstmann, who we did call the Suge Knight of gaming at one point. And Jeff told us to stay out of Vegas, which was...
That's right.
I mean, there's no beef as long as we stay out of Vegas. Is
Yeah,
what I've
we
been
gotta
told.
stay out of Vegas.
That's right.
So as long as we do that, I feel like we're good.
Seems like it's probably okay.
Yeah, feels like it's probably okay.
One would never know.
Only
I'll
one
see you
time.
soon.
Soy Socks asking, when you think of a good battle theme in a game, what comes to mind? Or are there any hands down favorites you could permanently rock out to?
I mean, when I think of a battle theme in a game, period, it's always Pokemon that comes first.
Sure.
If I had to pick specific ones, I'd say probably like Cynthia's battle theme goes pretty crazy. And like the Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Elite Four theme with the trumpets.
I like all the music in Phantasy Star 2 a lot. The battle music there is not my favorite track in the game, but it's all right.
That's a good cut. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Phantasy Star 2. I'm gonna say Man with the Machine Gun from Final Fantasy VIII. It's just the theme that plays when you go into the past and play with those three guys whose names are escaping me at the moment because the neural pathways in my brain are disconnecting and remembering other stuff and not the alternative protagonists of that game that I haven't played in a while. Kuros and Ward are the Laguna. That's it. Jesus Christ. I knew it'd come to me. Because of the price of the Steam Deck, how much is the Steam Machine going to cost now? Ask Blackjack Attack. 13.
I was gonna say 13 or 14.
I was gonna say 12-ish, but then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, you don't need to put a controller or screens or any of that stuff in there. So there's that.
Yeah.
And it's like it's more powerful, but it's still not like
that. You don't have to do the other bullshit. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but it's also not like high end, top of the line powerful. So if they put a terabyte in that thing, I think that's what they said, right? Yeah, I'm gonna say 1,200. 1,200.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer. Good
Good
answer.
answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Good answer. Fog asking, the song from Civilization won a Grammy. What song from games do you think deserves acclaim outside the hobby?
There's not a lot I don't, frankly. Good music is good music. You know what I mean?
Good music, good music. Yeah. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna say the Nationals' "Exile Vilify" from Portal 2 was a great song,
That is
and
a great song.
I think it's a really great part of the Nationals' oeuvre that they never ever play, because I think it was from a video game that like everyone loves that game, but it's like no one's like, oh, remember that Nationals song that played on the radio in the corner of that one room? Like, no one thinks about that.
Right.
So yeah.
I could also cheat. Passion by Utada Hikaru.
Sure.
Never the wrong answer.
Yeah.
I mean, if we really just want to, I could say Shinin. Was that Shinichi Osawa from Luminous?
Yeah.
First level Luminous 1.
Sure. Yeah.
Either that or the rap that plays during halftime in NBA Hang Time.
Oh man.
Hang time, y'all.
In a minute. Hang time, y'all. By the way, next week's episode, we're going to be recording a bunch of stuff from SGF, but like, I believe I will be getting my hands on a game called NBA Run, The Run, between now and then, which is just made by the people that made NBA Street 2,
right.
which is great. I don't know if that game's going to be good, but I'm at least intrigued by that.
I feel like everything I've seen on it, I look at it and go like,
yeah, I know.
Maybe.
I agree. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Okay, we've just got a few more. My Hero Zero asking, does SGF still have the ability to genuinely surprise you? Still is carrying a lot of weight in that one.
Load bearing still.
Load bearing still.
The only thing that consistently surprises me about SGF is that it's just one game. I'll never remember Summer Game Fest, not Summer Games Fest.
It's crazy.
I think this is the first year that I like actually saw that and tried to commit it to memory of like it is a single
Summer Game Fest.
I consciously went, Summer Game Fest. No, because especially if you include all the satellite things that we just broadly refer to as not E3, like sure, there's some stuff I wouldn't expect in there, but Summer Game Fest, nah. It surprises me in a derogatory way, like when we saw that giant cube.
Oh yeah. The Cube.
Cube.
There's a giant cube. Couldn't tell you.
I don't think it did.
Peter Molyneux is back with his cube.
Shit, that'd be so fucking good. They'd collab with Peter Molyneux to do that. Does SGF have the ability to surprise you? I mean, with its fucking depravity, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Will one of the Muppets be on stage, and will the fucking French guy curse again? I don't know. It's just like it all runs together with the Game Awards at this point to me.
Sure. This one is the one that feels like it is more sponsored. It is like I feel like this is where you're going to get a lot of your the stuff that's like downwind of the Hoyoverse. Like the pretenders trying to come up and be like, here, maybe we'll see, was it Doke V after all this time, now that their other game is out. Yeah. They'll get back to what truly matters.
What if, what's the game that he introduced at the Game Awards at the very end? That High Guard.
High Guard. High Guard could be there.
High Guard 2 comes out. What if High Guard 2 comes out?
Sure.
Great. That'd be a big surprise.
That would be surprising.
It'd be a surprise.
Yeah.
It would be a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, there are games that I have heard that I will be seeing that I have gone, oh, all right. But the flip side of that is that, like, I don't, none of them are, like, genuinely surprising. I think I'm just excited to play a couple of these things. So that's
I think that's where I'm at too. And there's some appointments I have that I'm like, there's stuff that I very much want to see that I have not been able to see yet. Some of them have been shown at other events that I just was not at that part of the world or whatever. But yeah, I feel like anything that's like truly unique or new or anything is going to have to come out of that live stream. I don't know the stuff on the appointment side is going to be like,
that's surprising.
Yeah, because that's all stuff that's been announced because now it's playable. And now it's first hands-on time. It's that part of the PR cycle. So,
right.
So yeah, anything I think truly new is going to have to come out of, Jeff arranging it to be there or whatever. And I think a lot of that stuff is not what it used to be, obviously, because everyone always weighs between like, oh, should we be a part of this show or can we just put out the trailer ourselves? Like, you always get some people in a live chat somewhere that are just like, GTA is going to be as part. It's like, no, why would they do? They don't need to do that. If they did do that, it would be like a big favor, I think, to everybody else that was on that show in a weird way. It would be like an altruistic, hey, we're helping the video game. The same way that when people say like, oh, if they charged $80 or $100 for GTA, it would be good for video games, which I think it's very funny that guy now works for fucking Microsoft. But no, dude, and like it's just not that kind of show anymore. And so the scope and scale of things that can appear is just reduced. You're not going to get like, here's mind-blowing first-party reveal. It just doesn't happen anymore.
This is from Russ. This is very specifically for Jeff. And boy, you're absolutely right, Russ. Definitely none of us, Lotus and I, can answer this question. A long-ass time ago, I gave Seb Mall $20 on Twitch to play Captain Skyhawk for the NES to hunt for some retro achievements. What's another weird game that inspired a long-running hyperfixation or exploration for you, aside from Super Mario Brothers Special?
Well, yeah, I mean, what he's talking about is like the Seb Mall specifically streaming Captain Skyhawk is what started me. Like, I watched that and thought, or if it wasn't that, it was him playing Captain Skyhawk. Yeah. And I was like, man, I remember everyone was all about this game at one point. It just because it looked so cool, and it still looks cool. But I bet this game sucks. And I spent like a while thinking about the way that NES games are talked about online. and how calcified some of the opinions about those games have become, whether it's from the angry video game nerd, or like to go back even further than that, Sean Baby had this really long thing he wrote about Deadly Towers at one point. It just kind of became like cultural artifacts that replaced a lot of people's opinions about those games.
Right.
And it like, I started going crazy. I was like, are NES games any good? Like, were they ever any good? Because I mess around with them, like I have emulation stuff set up all the time, and like I'll play the first 20 minutes or first 8 minutes of Super Mario Brothers every so often, or just load it up to see if something works, and then suddenly you're like, oh yeah, this Popeye game where they taught English, that's real silly. But I started thinking about it, like I don't really delve into those games. I don't think about them and go like, are these games actually still any fun to play or anything like that? And I eventually just said, like, I'm going to go on this adventure, and I decided I was going to play every single one that was released in the US.
You're close to the end, right?
There's like 9 games left.
Yeah.
So there's like 743 that have been ranked.
Yeah.
Mega Man 2 is currently at the top.
You played Genghis Khan this week.
Yes, Genghis Khan.
Which is very funny to me.
The second to the last Koei game, we still have Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2 here, but there's probably only like 2 or 3 weeks of that left. It's been really eye-opening. It's been really fun to really sit and think about these games, as opposed to just play them and go like, oh, haha, aren't bad games funny, or aren't this, that, or this game's NES hard, like all the stupid things that have just become, part of the lexicon, and being able to, I'm not finishing all the games, obviously, because that would take even longer, but going back and touching them all again has been really fascinating, especially as someone who bailed from that platform as soon as the Genesis was out.
Yeah, that was also my experience, which is funny because I've gone back and gone like, oh, I missed some games that I just didn't, I wasn't aware of, because I kind of skipped into this other platform, and I became such a Sega kid. I just like got away from Nintendo for a long time for whatever reason, and yeah, I kind of did the same thing. Not one of our questions, but for Mega Man 2 compared to 3, 4, everything that came after it, what puts 2 above the other ones, do you feel like?
It's level design. In a lot of cases,
really
it's music. It's before it got too ridiculous for its own good in a lot of ways.
Sure. Yeah.
And yeah, when you go on to look at, like, to me, and this is how I felt as a kid, and I think this still does kind of hold up, at least, scientifically speaking, is that it's the first 3 games. And then you get to Mega Man 4 and you're like, oh, okay, like the talent has moved on to 16-bit, or like whatever happened. Like it's
charging the Mega Buster for whatever reason felt like,
I hate it. I hate charging the Mega Buster.
It was a bridge too far. I was like, and like the more rush abilities they put into those games, the less, and the robots just stopped being as, like, I don't know, like as interesting, I think, in a lot of ways. Pharaoh Man, like, what is that? That's a kid wrote in to win a contest for that one. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I always oscillate between 2 and 3, so I'm always curious about, because like 3 introduces like a couple mechanics that feel really interesting to me, but also the level design is not as good.
Yeah.
So it's just
it's hard. It's in some ways it's a minor split, and it really makes me wish. I don't think you could do it because it would ruin the game. But like to me, I think the robots in Mega Man 1 are still the most iconic ones.
Yes.
Cutman, Gutsman,
Gutsman.
Like they still look the best.
Yeah.
But that game is so unforgiving and fucked up in its own ways that it doesn't. Yeah. It's frustrating.
That game is broken in crazy ways.
Yes.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
But not as good. All right, we got. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and at the bottom of the list is Hot Slots, which is one of the adult-themed games for the platform. We'll see if anything gets lower than that, but I don't know at this point.
Hot Slots.
Some of the worst time spent to boobs ratio you could have in video games, I think. Steam solves this problem in so many ways these days.
Steve, we were talking about it earlier.
Solves this problem.
Yeah.
You can get right into that.
Exactly.
Pretty
They've got
easily.
codes in this game. If you really want to get right to it, you can
Okay.
enter some codes. And
Thank God.
yeah.
All right, we got 5 more questions. We'll try to get through these. Harkavian asking, what's the most consistently fun classic arcade game?
Mr. Do is pretty good. I'm a big Smash TV guy.
Smash TV is really fun.
Yeah.
Smash TV is really fun. And also, like, you know, Jason also kind of asked us, so we're kind of doing a 2 for 1. At what point does a game have to be kind of classic? Like, is it age based? Is it, I don't know what the cutoff is, because I think about having a blast with the original, you know, Virtua Fighter cabinet, but I'm not sure I'd call that classic yet. I mean, maybe I
Right.
would. I mean,
Or even,
I
like-
was young as shit, but it's like,
It's the
I
same
don't know.
conversation you have about classic rock. Like, what is that?
Sure,
Where's the cutoff
right.
for that? And now a lot of the classic rock radio stations are playing grunge.
early,
you know,
yeah,
they're playing
they're
90s
playing
music.
Nirvana, right?
Yeah.
They're playing Alice in Chains.
So
Yeah.
I look to
That's
satellite
tough.
radio for the genre distinctions there
Yeah.
when possible, and they split it up into they have a station called Classic Vinyl, and they have a station called like Classic Tape, you know, like whatever
Cassette or whatever.
yeah,
right?
whatever it is. And so I think that's an interesting distinction. I think with arcade games specifically, it's just eras, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you get the early days, which people like to call the golden age, which I think is kind of dumb. But you get into that kind of mid to late 80s post crash where everything was a multiplayer game because they were desperately like Gauntlet and all the Konami beat 'em ups and all of that. I think that kind of qualifies as sort of its own era.
Right.
And then fighting games happen,
Yeah.
and then polygonal games happen.
Right.
And that's where I start. That's where I just lose interest anyway. So it's like, I'm sure you could go like, oh, and then, you know, redemption games take over, or sit down and play this Halo game, or actually the era becomes all this hardware is actually just a PC in a box,
Right. Yeah.
and that's where we are now.
What about you, Lotus? I'm sure it's a fucking Doodle Jump or whatever because you're
My
a child
classic arcade game,
Yeah, yeah,
Doodle
yeah.
Jump for the
Yep.
iPod.
for the iPod.
I,
No, they've got.
I've-
Have you been
They-
to a
they
Dave
made
and
a-
Buster's?
they made a
have
giant-
They have a huge
Oh, they
Doodle
do?
Jump. Yes. Yeah.
now
it's-
who's young? You at the Dave and Buster's playing
My
your little
Power
jump
Play
rope
card.
games and stuff.
Getting kicked out for playing Doodle Jump too long. Yeah.
No, what I think a classic arcade game is, yeah, I didn't have an arcade growing up, so
Yeah.
but I did.
That's
I
so
don't remember
like that's
why.
also just like so like what a
Foreign.
fundamentally sad sentence to be.
Yeah,
It's
a
just
fundaily
I
sad
didn't have
sentence.
a card. Yeah, I
We
didn't have an arcade.
had an arcade inside of the movie theater.
Sure. That was
but
kind
the
of
only-
the last
yeah.
bastion. I feel like.
Yeah.
The only game I was really into there was Time Crisis, which I don't feel like counts as classic. It is fun, but I don't think
It's a
falls-
classic.
It's a classic.
It is a classic.
If it's classic,
Yeah.
classic, I think I forget where it was, but we used to like vacation somewhere every year, and they had like a pizza 2 cabinets, and I played a lot of Tapper. So I guess Tapper.
Ooh, sure.
I had
Yeah.
fun with Tapper.
Yeah. Tapper's a classic.
Yeah.
His cameo in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes. I also like again, we get into the polygonal era and everything becomes fuzzy. Hydro Thunder.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I would call that classic, but like boy, I mean, if you get like one beer in me and you put me in a Hydro Thunder, I'm having a fucking blast for basically as long as you have me in there. Funk asking, Switch 2 is a year old, was it worth it?
Was it worth it? It sounds
me
it sounds like this is
let
at
me work it.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
I'll put my
Put my thing down, flip it, and
reverse
reverse it. It's
Yeah. Front loaded. No, I wouldn't even call it front loaded because I
Yeah.
didn't give a fuck about that Mario Kart game.
Nope.
I think Bonanza was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I played and beat Resident Evil 9 on Switch 2. Like, so I have like I think Pocopia is one of the best games of the year. So
Yeah.
I have some like deep fondness playing Tears of the Kingdom 60 FPS like without doing a bunch of bullshit on my computer. Like I don't know, shit hits. Like I don't know. Like I like it. I've been able to kind of disconnect my other Switches and post those on Facebook Marketplace and just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. The Switch was my favorite console, and this thing just like has more of that, and now I can play some third-party games that actually, if I don't give a shit about graphical fidelity, still kind of rip. Like I don't know, it's a pretty good machine for me.
Yeah, I think it's you could make the argument of like, oh, what if first party was a little bit stronger? I guess like
Yeah.
like because they took some chances. They did that different thing with Mario Kart, and and Bonanza is a different kind of thing. I think Bonanza is really cool.
I like Bonanza
just
too.
the tech and whatever else you want to say about it. Like it's a great looking game that does stuff that a lot of their games don't do.
Yep.
And it's a viable place for third party games in a way that the first Switch was, but in a much narrower window of like, you can port your game to Switch and it won't look like trash.
Right.
And then everything kind of moved on a little bit, and it's like, oh, this port just got way harder.
Yep.
And now you end up with like that last Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Oof. That was real
tough.
scary on Switch.
That was tough. Yeah.
So I think that this is I think that this is just a much more viable platform for third parties, and that's been nice. But I hate to say it, but like I feel like they needed a marquee, like whether that's a Mario or whether that's a Zelda.
Yeah,
like,
it does. It does.
It feels like it's missing
odd.
something.
Yeah, like Mario Kart World was a miss. I know Mario Kart 8 has sold more copies of itself than basically anything will ever sell anything. I understand that, but Bonanza still feels weirdly like a redheaded stepchild of like their AAA oeuvre, which is odd because again, I think that game is great, but it still feels off.
I love that they had the confidence to do it and just say like, hey, we're going to launch with all this other stuff. Like, we're making this experimental Mario Kart that we, that like is not going to be Mario Kart 9. It's going to be this other thing. And
it's cool, but it's like Star Fox coming out next month. Like,
see, that to me feels like a very safe move from them.
Super.
It's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna continue remaking this game that people seem to like.
Yeah.
And it will be fine. But yeah, like Yoshi is a really interesting. Or I guess is Yoshi's technically Switch 2, or is that also Switch 1? I guess I don't keep track of that stuff anymore.
It's also difficult to keep track
which runs on. Yeah, they don't make it easy.
Yoshi in
this
book is built in Unreal Engine 5 just for Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay, like that's a really neat game.
Yeah.
I don't like Yoshi. I don't like the games in which Yoshi is the star at all, but I like the idea of like the filling out this book and like the direction they took it in. I think is really fascinating.
Yeah.
And that's been a fun game to play with the kids because it's like there's a certain amount of exploration that they're like, oh wow, I didn't even think that would be a thing, and and that's been a lot of fun. And so like even that feels like very experimental, like for a platform that hasn't really had its big heavy hitter game yet. Maybe they figured Mario Kart was just going to be it.
Yeah,
and they did. Like it is interesting how weird some of the stuff. I mean, like Dragon Drive.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Remember that thing?
Mean, they made a fucking wheelchair basketball game.
And then refused to call it that ever.
Yeah, which
like
is
no, they're machines or whatever
they're machines. Actually, they're all fine. If you hit their legs with a reed, they'll feel it. It's fine. Like it's like they're fine. They can get up and walk around. They're not wheelchairs. They're something else. Yeah, it's very weird.
Very weird
thing that they did.
The welcome tour. Everyone's happy with that.
Everybody loved that.
All the Switch 2 stuff is great.
So
I'm always hearing about the level design of the tour.
Always hearing about it. Yeah, was it worth it? I don't know. Jeff, you have ranked fighting games, energy drinks, and NES games. How would you rank the rankings of those things? That's like a Dylan asking a question. Thanks, like a Dylan.
I think from an importance point of view, I would say that the NES edges out fighting games ever so slightly.
It's I dare I say important scientific work. I think it's really good that that's happening. Yeah.
Thank you. It's felt good doing it.
Yeah.
And it's been going for like 3 years now, which is
that's a big project.
Yeah, I love that conceptually. It's why back at the old place we started doing the fighting game ranking thing, because I like the idea of this very ridiculous thing that seems completely unfinishable.
Yes.
And this, unless something crazy happens over the next few weeks here, this might be the first one of these that actually gets finished.
Yeah.
Is the NES one. And but I would put energy drinks third on the list of importance. Though, you know, like that is the one that gets, like, people ask me the most about that one, because people are like, I'm at a store right now, what should I buy? And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know, like, what's your tolerance level? Like, you know, like as much as Rockstar Fruit Punch is still the number one, Rockstar Zero Fruit Punch, because these are all 0 or low calorie energy drinks on the list. As much as that's like the choice for, I think, the most people, it is not the most high powered drink. If you need something high powered, there's like crazier stuff out there. If you want to feel like, why is my skin tingling like that? Like, there are variants of C4 that I would recommend over the number one drink if you need to feel it in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
You need to convert the tier list to that sort of quadrant situation.
Yeah, there probably does need to be a change there, but
one of the axes is basically meth-like, and the other one is kind of, you know,
meth levels, physical sensation.
Yeah, physical sensation.
Yeah. And then I already know what's I have, you know, like, I thought I knew what was going to be next until last night. And then like I had it all figured out. I have built the new list of, well, here's the next thing after the NES stuff is done, and was all ready to, like, okay, this is going to be the thing. And then last night I had a crisis of conscience and was like, oh, but what if I did this one instead? It'd be way harder, but also way stupider. And I'm like, so I'm doing some soul searching over the next handful of days here about what's going to be next.
I'm excited to see what you decide. We got two more? Yes, two. Well, three more. One's really quick. Chip Beef asks, Bev check, any fun outdoor drinks yet? I'm craving agua de Jamaica. Listen, I just drank a Mighty Rascal Imperial Belgian style wheat ale. It's pretty good. I think it's from a local Dallas brewery. I also had a gin cocktail at a sushi place the other night. That was just gin, rosemary, and yuzu honey. And I'm not a big gin person, but I probably could have had like 5 of those.
Didn't you make fun of gin just last week?
I did, because it's just vegetables. It just tastes like vegetables. But the
gin is horrifying.
The thing is that if you put enough other shit in it, it's fine.
That's every.
That's what vodka is for. Vodka is the thing you put other shit into. Gatorade, you know, or energy drinks, for example.
Gatorade.
Speaking of Gatorade, my fun summer drink. Yeah. I stay on a coconut-flavored electrolyte.
Nice.
Whoa.
I love these. Just tastes like I'm drinking sunscreen, and I love it.
I had a roommate that tried to mix vodka and Metamucil. It is not vodka soluble.
No.
But it didn't stop him from drinking it.
Even if it was
uppers
soluble.
And downers. No.
Yeah. I've gotten back into lemonade lately.
Ooh,
yeah, I saw you post about lemonade.
Yeah.
Lemonade's good.
It's
Lemonade's
great.
Good.
Yeah. Even bad lemonade is still all right.
Are you on like the sweet side or tart side? Like, what do you prefer kind of on a lemonade?
I feel like I'm like, if I had to choose, I would probably go more on the sweet side.
Okay.
But I like a tart one too.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
I was gonna say I'll go more sour, because if I want sweet, I'll just drink a different juice. You know.
Yeah, I like a lemonade to kind of kick me in the throat a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to hurt right here.
Yeah.
At the base of the jaw.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for HEB to put out their blackberry lemonade again, which is only a summer
HEB.
thing.
Jeff, you got to come out to Texas at some point. We'll take you to the HEB.
That does sound nice.
Yeah, the HEBs are nice. Herbert E. Butt is the initials for HEB. That's
okay.
what that stands for. So he runs a.
Now it sounds even nicer.
I know. They make a lot of good tortillas, and they have a bunch of bullshit that they make in house, which is really good, man.
They have their own energy drinks. I saw them.
They do. Yeah, I saw that last time I was there. It's great. All right, and Grace, I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna rush through this question because Nikki's not on the show, but you've decided to get. Yeah, that's true. You can help me with this.
I said the opposite. I said I can't help you. John has to rush through this.
I have to rush through this one. Grace asked, I've decided to get into basketball. 2 questions. I'm originally from Toledo, Ohio. Should I support the Pistons or the Cavs? I cannot in good conscience tell you to support a James Harden basketball team. So I would say Pistons because they have a more interesting trajectory from being one of the worst teams in the league 2 years ago to having the best regular season record. They did lose in the playoffs, and that was kind of surprising, but also their starting center, Jalen Duren, kind of fell off, and that was strange. So I would say that, but honestly, the real answer is like go with your heart. Like if you're like a Toledo, like Ohio, woo, like just be a Cavs fan. They'll get rid of James Harden soon enough. Don't worry about it.
Who has the color you would rather wear? Really important.
Honestly, yeah. Like if you're not a dyed in the wool, whatever, just pick kind of whatever aesthetic you like more. I don't know. Like look at the players. Who's hotter? Like
are you an Isaiah Thomas fan?
Right.
Get into the Pistons.
Yeah,
from a long time ago.
Right. Yes.
But it's about the legacy. It's about history.
Are you into the bad boy Pistons? Well, yeah.
Are you into the Pistons that were the best team in NBA Jam? Because let me tell you,
so good.
Mark Turmel was a Pistons fan. That's why he did it.
And Grace also asked, "What's your favorite NBA storyline this season?" I think it's actually still going on, and it's twofold. One is Victor Wembanyama's ascent to being probably who will be a top 5 NBA player of all time eventually when everything is said and done. He's an absolute fucking freak, and he's actually probably not still done growing, which is insane because he's like 7'5", and his skill set is absurd. He is probably the best player in the NBA right now, and I just think he's going to get better, which is like so scary. The other thing is that they are legislating out of the NBA tanking, of basically they're changing the rules of the lottery so that like losing, like being in the bottom 3 of the league actually punishes you. You basically get shuffled back into the middle of the pack instead of the very top of the lottery. But they're not addressing the flopping issue, which is coming up right now in the Western Conference finals with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 2-time MVP, who is a very bad flopper, and he's kind of ruining the game.
Wasn't the commissioner out there saying like we're gonna have AI handle this or something? Like he's trying.
Yeah, he wants
to fall back on with sports, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of wants to take it out of the refs' hands because I don't think he wants the refs to be judging whether someone is acting in the heat of the moment. But the thing is that it's really fucking easy to see, actually.
It is a soccer level flopping.
It is
sometimes.
soccer level.
We know. We also have 50,000 cameras at every angle.
It's pretty clear. So the fact that is kind of not being addressed is a little bit distressing to me. Plastic Priest asking the final question of this week, and it's kind of a big one, so we'll take a second to answer this and then get out of here. Why is the discourse around every big game release so weird lately? Now, you do not explain that in great detail, so we're going to have to kind of guess what you mean by that. But my guess is what you mean is that every big game release seems to have some sort of, I don't know, right-wing griftoid YouTube bullshit attached to it, or people within the criticism space kind of sniping at each other for handling something differently. Why does it feel like that's happening more and more? I think it's a valid question. So sure, why is that happening?
I think you hit it. A lot of it with just by it's a grift.
Yeah,
I think you have a lot of algorithms out there that are based on purely getting eyeballs and purely inciting people to, you know, like engagement. And so engagement bait, like Threads is a nightmare for that, of that style of any style of engagement bait. But obviously Twitter, you know, is turned into a cesspool for that sort of stuff. You know, YouTube is driven by a fair amount of it as well. And so I think you have a lot of people out there that are just like, what's an angle I can take on this? Like, I already have an audience of people that are mad about ladies, or, you know, like whatever stupid fucking shit it is.
Remember,
and so how can I frame this game as being the worst thing ever because of this? And I saw someone trying to say that about 007. It's like, look at him being subservient to his woman boss.
Oh,
it's like, that's every Bond thing ever. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I love that picture of Rihanna and A$AP Rocky with the man-spreading lines drawn over everything to explain how he is being emasculated.
Yes.
That's the unfortunate thing, is a lot of this is deeply funny.
Yep.
I think related to the engagement thing, a lot of it is that, and I've talked about this before, as a former professional social media manager, I think people put too much stock into the internet and social media, which is not exactly the real world. Because I will say, we've gotten people talking about this, not necessarily asking questions in like Hive questions, but just around the Discord and community of like, what's up with this weird discourse? What's up with, why are people saying this? And I'm like, I don't know, bud. I don't use Blue Sky as much as you do. And I start muting people who piss me off pretty much immediately. And every time I breathe a sigh of relief.
You got a more of a hair trigger than I do, which I do appreciate. I was going to
say, you don't got no kind of trigger, John. And I'll yell at you every week until you get one.
I've taken the trigger off my guns. Yeah.
Yes,
that was my Blue Sky promise to myself when I started on there, and when it seemed like, okay, I guess I'm here now. Is like, I'm just fucking blocking people. Like, fuck this. Like, I'm not giving anybody. Yeah.
There's people who in the space, even like games media people or publishers or whatever, who like I value them and their intelligence and what they can do. But if I lose my timeline to 10 reposts of something that I do not care about and something that I think is actively stupid, you're gone, buddy.
I have turned off all reposts completely on Blue Sky.
I really wish I could do it by
I feel a little bad about it, but because there's sometimes people are sharing something of value or whatever. But I'm like, no, I want to see what you originally have to say about things. I'm not here to see.
I think that's
check this out, bro.
For me, it's artists
I'm not here.
that it's hard with.
Oh yeah,
like, I want to spread out the artist network. I need them to add per account.
Yes, that is yes
that's
per
like,
account.
That's my. I don't give a fuck about editing.
That's 6 or 7 years away from Blue Sky. You know, just wait.
Yeah. Just wait it out.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait it out.
Just wait.
They got video working after like what, 3 years or whatever. So
you think it's
how do you define working? Yeah.
That's fair. Listen, I will give. I will give the kind of the critics space a little bit of credit, but I'm also going to give them some criticism as well, to say like, because this job, whatever the fuck you would define it as, journalist, critic, whatever, has eroded so hugely, you do just see kind of like a weird kind of pool of people who, I don't know, frankly don't have like the time or authority invested into the space to actually think meaningfully contribute, but they're kind of surfaced at the same level, and so it feels like discourse kind of evens out in a weird way. Some people make some big deals out of shit that like I don't think anybody actually really thinks about. Then there's like legitimate stuff about like, what do we cover? Like I remember when that Harry Potter game came out and people were like, well, let's pretend it doesn't exist. And it's like, okay, well, there's a slippery slope there, but I also think like a lot of people are like, yeah, but I just want to talk about Harry Potter because I love it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of fucking lame too, isn't it? And you know, the Forza Horizon 6 thing was really interesting because, like, I think there are genuine concerns about like, you know, covering Microsoft games if you're an independent outlet and you're worried about X, Y, and Z with the boycott. But then there are counterpoints made that don't really track the same way to me that really make a lot of sense. So there's just a lot of erosion in the space that feels like no one has a lot of authority because the bigger sites don't really do a lot of hard criticism or analysis on things. They just do a lot of news reporting.
Yeah.
And then the quote unquote outlets that are doing kind of interesting work in that space are more independently small operated. So everything is just spread out in a strange way. Everyone is kind of doing a different thing. And so when one corner gets loud, I think it gets loud in a way that tricks you into thinking it's important. And a lot of it isn't sometimes. And then
a lot of it is stuff that's like, this is the third time it's come around in the last 5 years, or like there's a lot of repeats on that. And
speaking of reasons I mute people, is when I see someone vague posting about discourse.
Oh, I know.
You're fucking gone,
You're
bro.
gone. You're out of here, buddy.
I can't stay.
Yeah.
Why is everybody talking about difficulty in games again? Right, just whatever it is.
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, now you are too. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I thought you didn't like it. Jeez.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I also had a big issue with like, I remember some people talking about like, oh wow, like YouTube is just completely overrun with these kind of right-away freaks that are like screaming about stuff. I was like, why are you getting served those?
Right.
You really have more control over that than you think you do. So why is that being surfaced to you is a question I have a lot. And I don't know. I do think we can curate our own spaces in a way that a lot of people don't. And so they feel kind of victimized by something that they actually don't have to experience at all. So, and
even if it's being served to you, like no one is holding a gun to your head and saying, watch this video. Just fucking don't bother. No. Like you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to come away going like, now I know how to beat these, like, or whatever. Like there's nothing to be gleaned from that.
Right.
That's the thing I would say about, having been here doing this through the last, I guess, what is it, 15 years now of, like when a Gamergate happened, it was like, it's whatever it was, but
12 years.
12 years. Yeah. That it was like, you don't need to meet these people in the middle.
No.
You're not looking to understand it anymore. Like that was the first 4 or 5 years of this. Was people being like, well, maybe there's something to this ethics and games journalism, and I was like, well, let me tell you something about ethics and games journalism, and shut the fuck up. How about that? I don't know. Like that stuff was so all over the place, and so to see people kind of like fall into these traps again, of like giving this stuff the time of day. Like I hear about it secondhand a lot of times, but I'm not gonna go see what the fuck is it? A Grums. I'm not going to go fucking see what the fuck that dude is doing. Like, I don't care.
Oh, man.
Like, I've seen enough of that shit over the years and to be like, fuck, then why do I waste my time? What's this piece of shit up to? Like, no, I'm good.
Really,
Even using the term discourse is elevating it past a level that it should.
Sure.
Be.
Yeah,
it's not,
true.
that word no longer means anything that it actually means. It just means people being mad over something really stupid. It's not a debate. It's not discourse. It's just right.
I like to think that when I get mad about a thing online, I'm going to say 80% of the time, I know exactly how stupid it is when I'm getting mad about it. I'm like, yeah. No, I'm mad about a thing that this other outlet did, and fucking, I don't know, whatever, I guess. Someone gave me shit about it. I was talking about genres. I forget why. It was before the Steam stuff happened. It was some other dumb genre thing, and I was talking about Doom likes it was the capitalization of Xbox. That's what it was.
All caps.
That thing that we all really care about.
Yes.
Yeah, we all
and
care about it a
the
lot.
thing that we did back at GameSpot in the day is like we had copy editors and people that said, no, we're not going to do that. Like, it doesn't make sense for us, like to convey information to our readers. We do not need to follow whatever their dumb brand guidelines.
Right. Yeah.
Because the slippery slope there is then you're writing stuff in ways that people don't know what you're talking about anymore, or people are gaming the system for extra emphasis.
Yeah.
The example I cited was that at one point Epic tried to convince everyone that Unreal Tournament was to be said in all caps.
Yes.
which
A lot
is
of games doing that.
yeah. And we're just like, no, we're just not going to do that. And so I posted like, you know, hey, you don't have to do this. You know, you realize like just because they're doing this, like you are a person, or you were an editor, you were a person who gets to make editorial decisions, or your publication gets to make decisions around this stuff. That you don't have to do this. You should do what's right for your audience, not what a company is telling you to do. And it's like a petty thing, but it's like a thing that I've had like weirdly a lot of experience with over the years. And I posted it and was just like, yeah, whatever. You know, like I didn't think twice about it. And then like 2 people or 3 people replied to it like, I can't believe a human being is actually typing this on and posting it. Oh my God, an adult would even care about such. And I was just like, what? It was like people that had wandered in off the street and, you know, been like, why are we? And I was like, well, I'm saying this because I've done this for 30 years. And you know, like I've had to deal with this exact stupid thing. And there's not a lot of people left out there that have had that experience. And so someone needs to sometimes stand up and say, hey, you guys don't need to do this. You might not have bosses that tell you that anymore because they are all new too. So maybe just don't.
Yeah. I mean, Asha Sharma might not send you a fucking hoodie with the logo on it if you do that, but like,
we'll print our own.
Yeah, we'll print our own. We'll make our own.
All lowercase.
All lowercase. Just really, really
a nice
small.
papyrus.
Yeah.
It's a little papyrus font.
Yeah, you know, Comic Sans is too obvious.
Too obvious, but papyrus would be amazing. Great questions this week, folks. Once again, you can go to vgbs.com/join. Join the Hive. Please do that. It's the only way to support us. We don't do ads. We don't do shit on this thing. So it's the only way to support us and the great things that we do. And you can join our Discord for free. vgbs.com/discord. Boy, SGF. We're going into that. So I'm sure I'll see you around.
Yes, I'll be around on the weekend. They tried to make it a 3-day thing a while back and said, no, we have Monday appointments too. And I'm like, yeah, the fuck you do?
Yeah, the fuck you are.
Monday? Not even. Ugh.
Yeah, there's Monday shit. I'm going to one. There's one Monday thing I'm doing, and also there's I told you about this. I think like, yeah, I don't think it's a fucking secret. There's some sort of like business summit, business summit on Monday morning, that starts at like 8 in the morning or something like that. I'm so deeply curious about how soulless that is that I am going to go to that. And,
cool.
Of course you are.
See what that is.
Yeah, I thought about going to that, but
Jeff's hosting it. I'm like, how bad could this get? Like, and I'm excited to see how bad it could be. There'll probably be some cold croissants and stale coffee for me to have. Which, like, when else can you get that? You know,
it does sound nice.
It does sound nice. But Jeff, where can folks find you? I know they can find you at jeff.zone.
Yeah, that's probably the best place to go. Head over to jeff.zone, or I'm on Blue Sky at jeffgerstmann.com. And I'm on Threads, I guess. I don't know. Like you find me I'm on Mastodon at Jeff Gerstmann at mastodon.net, I think is what that is. I don't know.
Mastodon.
That's the problem. Like all of it's spread out. You talk about like how weird everything is and why discourse is all.
What instance are you on?
Which I'm on the main. I'm on mastodon.net. I think is the main one, right?
Then there's games.
Gun to my head, I could not explain how Mastodon works. Like off the dome, I couldn't do it.
Jeff Minter posts all his sheep. I mean, he posts on Blue Sky now as well. He's cross-posting, but you know, for a while you had to go to Mastodon if you wanted Jeff Minter's sheep posting.
Oh, that's great.
Or he's hanging out in his field with his sheep, making weird VR games by day or by night, and hanging out with sheep during the day. Seems like he figured some shit out.
Yeah, ideal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fucking ideal.
Yeah.
Jeff, thanks for hanging out. This is fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
This is super fun.
Let's do this again one of these days.
Let's do it again. Why not?
Days.
Yeah.
Let's get past this SGF stuff and figure something out. Folks, you can leave us a review. I don't think we have any new reviews this week. No, we don't. But you can go leave us a 5-star review. We'll read it on the show. You don't have to make them Peep This Out themed. Jeff, are you aware of Peep This Out?
You don't.
I don't think I am aware of Peep This Out.
just go to youtube.com and Google and search for Peep This Out. You'll find a food reviewer that all of us are deeply fascinated by.
So I'm into the Joe is hungry and like Food Man Paul. Yeah.
Joe's great. I still have a real genuine fondness for Joe. The Peep This Out man's got a bit of a sadness.
Great. Awesome. That's what I'm looking for in a food review.
Yeah.
I feel like I found myself filming a TikTok in my car with an energy drink the other day, and I was like, oh man, this is how it starts.
That's how it starts. Yeah.
This is the slippery slope. I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm already talking about food and beverage online. I just need to record it in the car.
Just got to do it.
Why are those people eating entire pizzas in their car? What the fuck is going on? Like, that is it's for another day.
Their cars have got to smell fucking crazy.
They have vacuumed once a week?
It's disgusting. Folks, go to VGBeats.com/join one more time. I'm just talking about what I'm just going to keep hammering it home. Because that's a technique that they tell me I should say, do and say. Just reminding you constantly that
if you don't say the URL 3 times in your call to action, you might as well not even be doing it.
You might as well be actually just dumping your entire listenership into the toilet.
Yep.
Flushing it. VGBeats.com/join. We have a fucking... Hey, listen, if you're listening to this, you're in LA, come to Good Housekeeping in Highland Park at 7 p.m. local time on Thursday, June 4th. We're having a VGB's second birthday party and meetup. I'm not buying you drinks. If you get me drunk enough, I might buy you one drink. But I'm
also,
not buying
Nikki,
you.
you will be stealing from someone, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, we're not. Last time we had a mixer, I wasn't there because I had just broken my leg because I had a car accident. That's actually the last time. We got one more in. And then Nikki had all their shit stolen from which was bad. So we're not going to do that this time. I'm going to be there, and Nikki's not going to get any of their shit stolen. So, Good Housekeeping, Highland Park, 7 p.m. There's if you go to My Blue Sky, there's a fucking invite. You don't need to RSVP, but it'll create a calendar event. All right, I've talked for way too long. Thanks again.
We've heard the whole song.
Thanks again. I know, the song's almost fucking over. Jeff, thanks so much again. Go to jeff.zone.
Thank you.
Join his Patreon. It's one of the best uses of my money on that platform.
Whatever it is I'm doing over there. I don't even know what to call it anymore.
Kids.
All right, until next time, keep on buzzing!